up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode and live stream of Let's Get Nuts here on the Ben Thomas Show. Thanks for coming back, getting nuts with us here on a Sunday. I missed you all. We have some great panelists here with us today. We're going to keep our entertainment news a little on the shorter side this time because there is so much freaking six scale stuff to talk about that I'm confident that I've even missed some of it. So guys, if you're out there and you're watching today and you're like, I'm live with you, Ben, let's talk about these things as well. I'll let you guys know in the chat there if it's on the sheet, because I don't want you to miss anything that you guys are excited about. But guys, of course, stick around today. If you guys like the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show. And with that said, let's get nuts.
What are you doing? You're completely outnumbered here. Are you nuts? You want to get 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 nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts. Let's get nuts. Let's get nuts. Let's get nuts. Let's get nuts.
Alrighty, welcome back. Let's get our first and great panel member out here. Mr. 1, Adam 12, back in the house once again. Buddy, good to see you. How you doing, man?
Hey, Ben, how are you?
Dude, I am so good. I am riding cloud nine. I got off a phone call with somebody close to me just minutes before the show started, and I've explained this in the past. Sometimes when you have, a call or a talk with somebody that just makes you feel amazing, suddenly you feel like you could lift a car above your head. That is how I feel today. I am amped up for the show, and I'm excited to have you back, buddy.
Nice.
So, how's life going for you, good sir?
Good. I wore my Starfleet Academy shirt just for
Hell
you in
yeah.
the show, fellow Star Trek fan. To quote the movie that just came out this past weekend, fantastic. Saw that Fantastic Four. We'll mention that shortly. I think we've been blessed with a couple of great comic book films in a row, and I think any thought that the comic book film is dead, no, the comic book film is alive and thriving, and I'm happy to see it.
Hell yeah. Bad writing was dead, maybe. Bad bad storytelling.
Absolutely.
Right? So,
absolutely.
yeah. And we'll talk about it a little bit after we get our next guy in here, but I will say that I kind of felt the same way. I went into Fantastic Four seeing people had kind of put it in at like a 7.5 out of 10, some of those initial reactions. And so I went in with pretty low expectations. And by the end of the movie, I turned to my friend that I was with and I kind of went I freaking loved that. I loved that. Am I weird? And then he was like, no, I love that too. I was like, okay, sweet.
I saw it with my daughter Emily, and
Yep.
I know I like a movie when about half hour into the movie, I turned to her and I said, I effing love this. And that's how I felt the whole way through. In fact,
Hell yeah.
I had to stop at my mom's and help her with something on her TV, and they had on Disney Plus the first 5 minutes of the movie, and I go, oh, we got to watch this. And that first 5 minutes is just
banger. Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to talk maybe a little bit of spoiler, but spoiler light, because just in case everybody hasn't seen it, let me know maybe in the chat, guys, if you haven't seen it, and we can go light on it. But it was awesome. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But let's bring in our other guest of the day, Mr. X-Men Supreme, Mr. Dave. Welcome back, good sir. It's been a couple of weeks since I've seen your face.
Hey, what's up, dudes? How y'all doing?
Good, man, good. It's been a good weekend.
Dude, I almost went today to see Fantastic Four, and I just didn't want to leave the house.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Okay.
so I'll probably go tomorrow.
So you still haven't seen it then yet, Dave?
I still haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Nah.
Okay, fair enough. So we will go very, very light spoiler then, because we don't want to let anything go that might not already be at least in the trailer for the most part. So, but yeah, pretty freaking great to have you back, Mr. Dave.
It's good to be here. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I like that shirt, by the way. Is that a new one?
Oh no, I've had this for a little while, but it's a
never
fun
seen
shirt though. I like it a lot. It's from that scene, early '90s, where
Hell
they're
yeah,
going
dude.
through the danger room sewer.
yeah.
Should
That's
be
awesome.
Gambit and Psylocke in the background. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, dude, we guys already have over 30 people here live getting nuts with us on Sunday. I want to jump right into it because, again, like I said at the beginning, we do have a freaking ton of stuff to cover in the 6 scale stuff, and I'm excited to talk about it all. I did want to talk a little bit about cons very briefly because I know, Adam, you were saying, hey, right now Sdcc 2025 is happening. And you asked me if I've ever had a favorite con that I've ever been to. I'll be honest, like I haven't gone to many, but I went to, it was a Toronto Comic Con, I think back in, God, it had to have been probably 2014, somewhere in that range, right after, about a year or two after The Dark Knight Rises had come out, because at that time they had like full scale Batman costumes that you could like buy, and they were like legit Batman costumes, and they were really, really cool. But that was amazing. And then the last 2 years I've gone to the Calgary Fan Expo, and this past year I got a chance to meet Christopher Lloyd, which was cool. Quieter dude than I expected, honestly, if I'm being honest. I thought he'd be a little more lively, but I think, you know, after you meet 1,000 people that tell you they love you, it probably gets old after a little bit. But it was cool to meet him anyways. But what about you, man? What's your favorite con you've ever been to?
You know, I've been to so many conventions over the years, and I you know, my dad started taking me to conventions when I was a kid here in Albany, New York, and like smaller comic conventions. And like I kind of 3 experiences real quick. The first was when I was a kid. My dad got tickets at the Fantico Con in Albany, New York, and we had lunch with Mark Leonard, who you'll appreciate this, Ben, played Sarek in Star Trek.
Yep.
Spock's
He's
father.
Awesome.
And so
awesome.
it was him and I and like 3 other people having lunch, and I was like 12 years old with Sarek from Star Trek. So that was like a really cool experience. And when I turned 30, my wife took me to the San Diego Comic-Con. So that was the one time I went to San Diego Comic-Con. And for those who haven't been, you know, at some point in your life, if you can get to that, it's try to do that. It's an incredible experience. We saw we were able to get into the Hall H, and we saw like Quentin Tarantino,
that's cool.
Hugh Jackman,
cool.
Halle Berry, the cast of Lord of the Rings, Kevin Smith. So it was like an amazing experience. I'll never go again, but it was an amazing experience. It's, you know, it's like 200,000 people there. It's just crazy.
Jesus.
175,000 people. And now I'm hoping for a great experience coming up in 2 weeks. We got tickets for the Boston Fan Expo, and I have tickets to get our picture taken with Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. So hopefully that'll add to that. But those are the big conventions. I just like going to we have these little, what I call rinky dink conventions near us, where it's just like your comic book dealers and action figure dealers. And, you know, it's like, you know, maybe some comic book artists and writers. I like going to that and just kind of looking around and seeing what they have. And, you know, I love being a part of like those different community events.
Dude, me too. Especially when you go in and you find a figure that you're like, oh, I forgot that even existed, or that's one that you haven't seen in a while, or maybe one you had when you were younger and you're able to cop it. Right now, Todd McFarlane is redoing the Batman animated series line, and I like Batman animated series for me is like, it's like a Bible for me in life, right? I'm like, I freaking love that original show. And so I already had probably 15 of the original like DC Direct ones. But now that McFarlane's redoing them, I've been slowly collecting them, but he's smart about it because they're all Build-A-Figures, right? And so it's like, I don't need that 4th one, but I'm going to spend the $35 to get it so that I can build, the Jonah Hex or the whatever, right? Last time it was the, Bruce Wayne in a suit carrying a case where if you opened up the case, you could see his Batman costume in there. That was the Build-A-Figure. So I ended up getting a Poison Ivy and one other one. Oh, a Riddler that I didn't need, but I was like, screw it, I'm getting it anyways. So, but yeah, those types of small cons, that's when you can find some of those old like grails and stuff too, which is pretty freaking cool. Mr. Dave, any cons that you've ever been to that you were like, yeah, that was fun?
You know, the funny thing is, I've only ever been to San Diego Comic-Con, and I only ever went one time. And that was in 2011, which is crazy because I lived there for 11 years. I could have gone, theoretically, every year I could have gone. But, like, I went to 1 year and it was a lot. There's a lot of sensory overload. But, man, I got to meet my favorite comic artist that day. He was there. J. Scott Campbell. That was great. Friggin' Frank Joe was hanging out, so that was fun. I missed Stanley. He was there the day before. You know, but
Damn.
but yeah, dude, like it was a great time. That was the time that I figured out that there were porn stars at Comic-Con. Didn't know that. Was not aware of that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I don't think
there.
I've ever seen one.
When I was there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I
wild.
saw Captain America standing there with a big X on his shield. I was like, no, I don't remember that crossover.
That's awesome. Everybody in the chat, you need to come up with an X-rated Captain America title name for Dave's future movie here. Let's see it. Dave, have you seen Superman yet, by chance?
Oh yeah, definitely saw that.
What was your quick thoughts on Superman?
Liked it.
Since you
I
haven't
liked
had a
it a
chance
lot.
to see Yeah.
I didn't think it was like, it wasn't the best Superman movie, but it was very, very good. It was very, very good. I thought I liked everybody in it. I thought Hot Girl could have done with a little less screaming. That's the only thing she did. But like,
agreed. On my second viewing of it, it's that stood out to me a little bit more, if I'm being honest. Like as a bit of an annoyance.
But I loved Lois. I very much enjoyed Lex as the just impotent child there. That was great the way that they did that. I thought that made a lot of sense. So that was cool. And then
is Cavill still your main guy then, or one of the earlier Superman?
Oh no, I've always loved Cavill as Superman. I've never loved how they, like I said, I never loved how they did him, but I've loved him in the suit and the role. I think he brought a lot to it. Reeve is those are hard shoes to fill, man. Like he really did it. He really did it. Yeah. And everyone else that came after him has done pretty darn good, I think. But there's just no comparing. But this guy did pretty good. Feeling. I like this guy a lot. And it was like the behind the scenes stuff, like seeing the interviews and hearing him talk about Superman and what he thinks of like how ridiculous a costume can look and stuff like that. I was like, what, this guy gets it. I'm in.
Well, and he seems like legitimately like a nice person, which I appreciate. It doesn't seem like it's him putting on an act. He actually seems like a pretty sincere dude, which I appreciate. So
yeah,
no, that's good. I'm glad you enjoyed it for what it is. I would still say it's somewhere in a 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for me. Like it wasn't a perfect movie, but I did like it. It did get me excited about the future of DC. And I'll be honest, Dave, same with Fantastic Four. So like I mentioned at the beginning there, like I went in with pretty low expectations, especially because Fantastic Four films in the past have been kind of like, they've been okay. Like, I mean, I loved Jessica Alba, and even on some rewatches, Chris Evans was a great Johnny Storm. But what I didn't expect was to love this family as much as I did. They really truly felt like the family in this film. I thought they all had great standout moments. I'll definitely recommend this film. For me, when I came out, I felt like, it's hard because I never give anything a perfect score. I don't think anything can get a perfect score in a lot of ways. But like for me, like a 9 out of 10 is pretty damn close to that. If it brings a tear to my eye, if it hits me in the emotional strings, which it does a couple times throughout, I just love love. I love love stories. I'm a sap that way. So for me, whether it's family, love story, or some heartache or some higher stakes, it does it. I am excited to see what happens now going forward with these guys. And Adam, I want to hear from you because, of course, I want to hear your thoughts on Fantastic Four. This is not really spoilery because I don't know if it's 100% confirmed. It did come through IGN or Covered Geekly, so usually they're pretty bang on, but it says here that Reed Richards will also then be the leader of the Avengers and Doomsday and Secret Wars, which I'm like, man, like, why tell us that now? But I mean, I guess if they're putting that out there, they want people to get excited about this team and make sure people go and see it, as well as a potential crossover to see Johnny Storm in Spider-Man. So tell us about the movie. Tell us about your thoughts on these.
Well, a couple thoughts. I think they did an incredible job, like Superman as well, I think, of world building. And what they did is they created a Earth. It's not a spoiler to say that it's a different Earth. It's not. It's the MCU, but it's not the mainline 616 world.
Yeah, they showed that kind of in the trailer, right? They alluded to that.
Yeah. That's not a spoiler. But they created a like 1960s retro future universe, or Earth, I should say, that is, if you look at like the Life magazines of that era and of the space race, optimism, kind of a world that, you know, maybe Kennedy wasn't killed, maybe we didn't get involved in Vietnam War, maybe, you know, some of the dark things that happened in the 60s and 70s, Watergate, didn't happen in this world, and optimism ruled the day, and the progress of science, you know, healed the world. And that optimism is shown in this. Like, I want to live in this world.
Me too.
It showed in the universe. Was crazy. And clearly, you know, Reed Richards, they made it. And the other thing too is they made. I always, you know, I kind of like the Fantastic Four. It wasn't one of my favorite Marvel comics. I always liked the Thing. I always liked Human Torch, Johnny Storm. I always thought Reed Richards was kind of a lame character, and Sue Storm, they made me invested in Reed Richards and Sue Storm. And I know some people are down on, oh, Pedro Pascal, he's everywhere. They cast him in this, they cast him in that. Well, because the guy is a really good actor. And I thought he was incredible as, I don't want to say fantastic because that's a word, so I'll use the Incredibles. I'll say he's incredible as Reed Richards. And I absolutely, you know, one of the things that the problem has been with the MCU post-Endgame is because Captain America, Steve Rogers has been out, Iron Man's been out, Black Widow's been out. You haven't had some of those core characters that anchored the universe, in my view. So I think if you're going to look for new anchors for an Avengers film, I think the Fantastic Four are good characters, how they've developed in this movie to anchor Doomsday in. You know, surrounded by some of the other new Avengers, and you know, the Thor, that sort, those sort of guys. Spider-Man, if they bring him in, he hasn't been cast yet, but I think they've done a good job in that.
Absolutely. No, that's well said. Clinton Martin says here, how's Reed going to be the leader of the Avengers? He wasn't even the leader of this movie. I kind of agree with that. I actually thought, again, without spoiling, that Sue Storm had probably the strongest role in terms of leadership throughout the film. And I loved her. I thought she was way more badass than any Invisible Woman that we've had prior, if I'm being honest. But
I think he was co-leader. I'm not sure I entirely agree with that. I think he was co-leader with Sue. I think, you know, this is Marvel's first family. They've always called it that in the comics. And I do think this movie was about family. And you know, I don't think one was subservient over the other. I think they developed him, but Sue Storm wasn't just like the girl in distress. She wasn't just the love interest. She had an equal, but she wasn't a girl boss. And sometimes, you know, one of the criticisms lately of some films is, oh, they made character girl bosses and not develop their character, and that's not the case here.
That's right. That's right. She had more of that more of like that motherly impact, I think, which was a great story beat. So no, that's cool. I you know what, I see it from both sides. I think that's a good challenge, Adam, if I'm being honest. But yeah, Clinton, I'd be curious to hear a little bit more about how you feel with regards to it as well. And what did Vita here say? She says, Ben, she was a standout character of the specific movie, but she was not a leader. Okay, look at you guys firing it up in the chat. You love to see
I agree with Vita.
You love to see it. She also says, stop the Pedro hate. So, and you're right, Adam. He is a good actor. I will say, even I felt the fatigue. I was like, man, like, you know, I didn't see him necessarily as a Reed Richards figure. Like, I really liked even what's his name in Multiverse of Madness, John Krasinski. I thought he would have been an amazing, you know, Reed Richards, but they surprised me here, and I would definitely recommend this film. So guys, if you haven't had a chance to see it, go and check it out. We'll talk more about it, I'm sure, in the coming weeks. One last question for you, Adam. Did this make you want to collect 6 scale from this film? And if so, do you have any ones in mind that you think you might go in on?
Yes. So I was on the fence on these. I have a bunch of MCU figures. I was on the fence on the Fantastic Four. This has pushed me over the edge. But two factors. One, I'm still where I am on the fence is either I'm going to get all 4 or I'm going to get Galactus and call it a day. I'm not going to get both. But I'm not ordering any Fantastic Four figure until they officially announce Johnny Storm. Because
that's right.
They say they're going to do it. They previewed it. They've done this before. So I'm not gonna pull the trigger until they announce Johnny.
Yeah, I think I'm shocked that they haven't already. I'm wondering what's the holdup, especially since they've shown him, right? Like they've shown him in the background of that one slide. It seems weird, but Gilbert Hartman says my Fantastic Four, the Jessica Alba timeline. Again, like Vita said, who doesn't like Jessica Alba? So she's still wonderful. She's still wonderful. So guys, let's move on. But let us know in the chat. Try not to do too much spoilers, but if you guys have any thoughts on the movie Fantastic Four, Superman, who won the summer blockbuster film, for me, I would say, as much as I freaking loved Superman, I think Fantastic Four takes the win for me. I liked it. I liked it more. And I'm excited for it. So tell me how you guys feel about that in the chat. But guys, also, Avatar Fire and Ash was shown to me on the in the previews of Fantastic Four. So it's the first time I've actually seen the full trailer. And it's interesting because they're obviously basically picking up directly where the last movie left off, which I think is great. It's amazing to me how long this film franchise seems to be taking to just like come to fruition. I think there's still a plan for like 2 or 3 more movies, which is wild. I remember reading something along the lines of the actress who plays Natiri. It's on the tip of my tongue now. Sorry, guys. Anyways, she was like in her 20s, when Avatar got started, and now she's pushing 40, which is crazy. So what the heck is her name? Why am I blanking on her name? Natiri. Gamora. Why can't I can think of all of her character names and I can't think of her actual name. You hate to see it, doesn't matter.
It's contagious,
but anyways,
I guess. I don't remember
it's
either.
contagious. Yeah, I should have smoked the weed
Zoe
before
Saldana.
I got here. Zoe Saldana, thank you. How did I forget that person? Like, what? That makes no sense to me. But anyways, I am excited to see this film for sure. I was curious, though, just for you guys, is Avatar one of those films that you get excited about, or it's more of just like, I'll watch it when it comes out? Because it always does wild freaking numbers, so clearly people love it, but it's not one for me that I'm like, oh, like I can't wait. I'll just watch it when it comes. What about you, X-Men? Is Avatar something that's stuck with you over the last decade?
I saw the first one and it was cool, but like I really don't care. Like I haven't seen the second one.
That's fair.
I don't have any plans to. It's just it didn't get my attention. I'm really just not that concerned about it.
I might have liked the second one more than the first, if I'm being 100%. I think it was a pretty good story.
It often happens.
Yeah, and really cool visuals too. Avatar, the first one sticks out to me because it was the first time in theater I'd ever seen a 3D movie. And so I remember that was the first 3D movie I'd ever seen, going in with the glasses and everything and seeing what that would look like. Like that was a pretty cool experience for the first time. But yeah, I think I actually like the storytelling of the second movie more. What about you, Adam? Is Avatar something that you're excited about now that trailers are starting to roll out?
I saw the trailer. It's kind of like the first 2 movies. I watched them. I liked them when they were out. I thought they were good, but I feel like I forgot them. Like an hour later, I watched them and okay. They didn't stay with me. Superman I've seen twice in the theaters. Fantastic Four I want to go again. So I saw Avatar. I'm like, yeah, okay. I don't need to see it again.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to do those billions of dollars like the others, or not. Because even Clinton, he says he likes the first one more than the second one, and then no desire to see the third one. So really, for falling off entirely for you, right? So that's pretty crazy. One trailer actually that stuck with me more, if you're talking about sticking power, was the Predator Badlands film trailer. That was I think that's the second trailer they've now released, but it was the first time I'd seen the trailer, and I was like, damn, okay, that got me. I'm very excited to see that world. So, but yeah, we'll see. Let us know, guys, in the chat if Avatar is something that you guys are excited for, of course. But I want to start getting into the 6-scale news because again, we've got lots on the docket. Just some housekeeping, of course. If you're interested in becoming part of the Hall of Nut Armor, these are the badges that will show up beside your name if you are on our Classy Nuts channel member. If you want to become a member, you can scan the QR code there on the screen, or you can click the link in the chat there, of course. These are some of the emojis that you get if you are a channel member. Thank you to all the people who have become channel members lately. I think we have now over 50 people. We also have about 15 channel Nut Kings. Cool thing is that I actually got all of the Nut Kings mailouts ready yesterday. It took me way longer than I expected to write out everybody's addresses and get everybody's stickers in. There are a couple of you who just became Nut Kings who haven't gotten all the way up to the year quite yet, but I just added the extra sticker in for you guys anyways, with the hopes that you will stay Nut Kings until you're at least at the year mark. But either way, I've sent most of them to you guys. So I'm excited to see the reactions. If you can, if you are a Nut King and you receive your stickers, please just take a photo with them. You don't even have to post social media if you want. I can share it here on the channel, but it'd be cool to see you guys all slowly get these. And if for some reason you are a Nut King and you do not receive it within, let's call it a month, let me know, and I've got extras. I can send more if needed. So also, again, our Classy Nut crew as well as our Nut King crew. Thank you to everybody who are channel members to begin with, but honestly, thanks to everybody who is also just literally a subscriber, somebody who watches regularly. I love you faces. I appreciate you guys 100%. But let's say hi to our chat before we get into our 6 scale news.
Is that everyone? I can put it more.
Nuts!
Assemble.
Nuts assemble. Oh, speaking of, by the way, OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars, one of our Nut Kings, I do not have your information yet. So please go back a slide if you're watching this on the replay. Take a picture of this link, send me your information so I can send you out your letter with stickers, okay? Let's say hi to Sam Gist here in the chat with a yo. Good to see you, buddy. We got Mr. 1 Adam 12th here on the panel as well as in the show. I love to see it. Mr. Ron E, you were one of the people who I sent extra stickers to, good sir, just because I know you're not quite at that highest level yet, but I assume we'll have you forever at this point. So, dude, thanks for being here as always to watch. Mr. 12-inch Moose Stream, great job on the show with Feezy yesterday. Moose, that was a really entertaining show. I almost joined you guys, but then you guys had it locked in, so all good. Of course, we got my friend Vita, aka Her Geeky Side here. Good evening, all. Let's get nuts. Hope you and Jim are doing well. I also sent you guys some fun stuff in the mail here, so stay tuned for that. We got, who else here? Oh, Jose Plus, love to see it here in the chat. He says, what's up, everybody? Just got back from Sdcc. Jose, let us know what your favorite thing you saw while you were there was. I would love to hear it, buddy. We got Mr. X-Men Supreme here. What does this say? The Focusrite Scarlet setup. Don't know what that's referring to, but always happy to have you here either way, buddy. We got Jim the Collector, or Jim Collector, I guess. I added the for impact, but good to see you here, buddy. He says, good evening, everyone. Always happy to have you, bud. Eclectic Collector. Good to see you, bud. Thanks for being here as always and making it hard to say quickly. Viking Collectibles, evening all. Let's get nuts. Good to see you here, my friend. We got Mr. Big Rip, as Dean would say, one of our great channel members, as one of our great chatters. Thanks for always being here, guys, as always. And my friend Thalia Meyer here with a hello, everyone. Always good to see you as well. Mr. Trevor Weed, I did get your information, buddy, so your nut envelope has been created. You will receive that as well. Live long and prosper, good sir. Always good to have you here. Of course, one of my Star Trek pals. We got Gilbert Hartman. He says, I haven't seen Superman and Fantastic Four, but bring on the spoilers. Well, we don't want to spoil it too much for people, so we'll give it maybe until next Sunday, and then we can go a little spoiler deep if there's some time for it or light on the news. Mr. Clinton Martin here, as always, good to see you. Fast and the Furious is about family. Love to see it. We got JB_Velo. Happy Gilmore 2 is great. I've heard that it's terrible, so which breaks my heart because I loved Happy Gilmore 1. It's one of my easily favorite comedy films of all time. But at the same time, I also wouldn't take it too seriously, so maybe people are just taking it too seriously and expecting more from it. It is still just a silly Adam Sandler movie, I would hope. So if you liked it, hopefully you're not lying to me, and I will watch it if you say that it's good. We got Mr. Robert Field to Burn here with a hello, kids, and a heart. Good to see you, my friend. Of course, as always, Tim Harvey rescuing us here. Zoe Zeldana. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. And I've also seen all your love for the Caustic Plastic stuff. We're going to talk some Caustic Plastic here in a little bit, so stick around, buddy, as well. But good to have you here. Blue Tattoo in the chat with us. Hello, everyone. Or hey, everyone. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for being here. Great job modding Feezy's show yesterday. I saw you in the chat. Working your magic, which is pretty awesome. Collection Obsession, one of our channel members. Avatar preview looks boring, but I'm very excited for the new Predator movie. I feel you on that one, man. I definitely feel you on that. Let's see here. We got Sith Scale Collector, Mr. Mike says, "What's up, y'all? Have a great show." I've got Mike. I've got him working on a a 3D print of Han Solo in carbonite for me because I didn't want to pay the $300 sideshow cost for the one that they've got on there. And so Mike's working it out for me. He's going to paint it for me and everything, and much more reasonable price than the sideshow one. And he showed me a little picture of it yesterday, kind of in its inception, and I'm like, man, that's going to be sweet behind Boba Fett. So once it's unveiled, once the final product is done, Mr. Mike, I will show it here on Let's Get Nuts. But Instagram, follow Mike at Mike's_Adventure World for some of his cool 3D print stuff that you can look at ordering right away. Or I know he does take some custom requests, but he's going to get really busy really quickly. He's going to be the next Tina Cruz doing rooted hair for people. All the different things that we can come up with as 6-scale collectors. So, and guys, we have 50 people.
That sounds good.
Yes. Yeah, Mike's_Adventure World on Instagram. And we got 50 people here already getting nuts with us on Sunday. Guys, thanks so much for being here. If you don't mind, on your way in the door here today, if you can hit the like button, even share the video, it just helps people get out. The algorithm lately has been a little mean. I don't know why. Like, normally it pumps the content pretty aggressively, but for the last week and a half, it's taken a huge dip in viewership. So either you guys don't like watching anymore, or the show is just not being shown to people. So any like buttons help, guys. Get the comment out there, especially if you like the show. I definitely appreciate y'all. Lil Titan in the chat here with us as well. That screen picture is terrifying and hilarious, but good to see you here, buddy. We also have Sildarin in the chat, which actually I think is a new name. I don't recognize that name. So, dude, thanks for being here and getting nuts with us. Forget Happy Gilmore. Watch Heads of State with Idris Elba and John Cena on Prime. That literally the funniest movie of the year. I did watch that actually about a week ago, and it was fun. It was a good time. I don't think I was awake enough for it, if I'm being honest, but it was pretty funny. So, and I love John Cena. I'm excited for Peacemaker season 2, if I'm being honest. But that's everybody. If I missed anybody in the chat, feel free to call me out. Let's get into the news here. This is going to be a really quick piece. I just wanted to add this in. XO6, so you guys know that I am a Star Trek loving person, and we now have a couple of different captain's chairs to be considering under XO6. For me, I think I'm going to stick mostly with the Next Generation bridge chair. I'm going to get, I think, all of my cast of characters surrounding Picard in the chair. I think that would be pretty cool. One day, if I could, I would have the whole bridge set up. I'd try to get the 3D printing maybe of the consoles in the back and the big bridge display, the Enterprise D console where Worf would stand and stuff. I want all of that, but I don't have a house. I need a bigger display. But Adam, I know you're a Star Trek fan. Did any of these chairs pop out to you as something you're gonna want?
Yeah, I like that. The one from the refit Enterprise from the motion picture. I have is it OCM? I can't remember the name of the company that was before XO6 that did the 1/6 scale figures. QMX, thank you. So I have the QMX bridge chair from the original series, and I have Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and Khan that were QMX figures. So I'm probably not. I just don't have space. The Next Generation Khan would be one that the chair would be one that I'd want to, but I don't think I have space for more than one captain's chair.
I even poked Zach from Collecting Weekly to see if he could potentially 3D print me the chair, and he was like, "Well, I need the measurements." I was like, "I don't even know how to get the measurements of a chair like that." So I'm like, "I'll just buy the one that exists." But Rogue One Photography here as well. Hey everyone, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for popping in as always. Yeah, and I know X-Men Supreme, you're not a huge Star Trek fan, right? So, but check this out, guys. I've been a huge. I think overall, I've been a huge supporter of XO6. I think for the most part, I give them some hard times sometimes, and I give them some shit. But honestly, it's just because I really like Star Trek and I want them to succeed. And there's a lot of things that I'm still waiting for, so I don't want them to fail. But yeah, these are pretty cool. These are pretty cool chairs. Blue Tattoo says XO6 should focus less on chairs and focus on better head sculpts. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Although I did like the Benjamin Sisko a little bit more than I was expecting I would, the new Commander Sisko with the 2 different head sculpt likenesses. Nobody watched that video because I don't think anybody was really all that interested in it. But still, I did some comparison shots of what the actor looks like, Avery Brooks. And if you at least are a DS9 fan, Avery Brooks is a badass actor, so he's cool to have in the display. But I agree, they could definitely use some work on their head sculpts. What doesn't necessarily need reworking, in my opinion, though, is more Iron Man from Hot Toys. And I'm not going to talk necessarily as much about this figure in particular. This is getting announced this last week. This is the Superior Iron Man we're looking at. I don't know enough about Superior Iron Man, so I might be completely out to lunch on this when I say this looks more like Doctor Strange in the outfit than it does a Tony Stark. Maybe it is, and I just don't know. So don't laugh at me for that take, guys, if that's the case. But one thing that I will say is that this highlights the fact that USB functionality for these figures, these Iron Men, is around the corner. And I'm curious, for everybody that has Iron Men in their displays, does that, like, upset you in a way, or is it something that you feel excited for? Because I'll be honest, I'm looking at my Mark 7 and my Mark 1 right now, who are powered down. Like, they just look like outfits that are turned off. And they're kind of boring to look at, right? They're such beautiful figures, and when you can bring these to life, they're that much more exciting. A lot of people have invested in fusion reactors for their figures and ways to creatively light them. But now with USB functionality coming to this figure, I think this is the start of the 3.0s that we're going to start seeing roll out. So Dave, I was curious for you, because I know you are still, of course, an Iron Man fan, but I don't even know how many Iron Men you have, if any. Is a USB functionality something you think people would be excited for, or do you think it's going to piss people off when they start seeing their favorite Iron Men get reissued with better technology?
They're going to get reissued no matter what. And, like, people have been wanting this for such a long time. I think the USB functionality will overshadow any quibbles people might have about a reissue of their current 3.0, but they will be there. They will still be there. I've never been a huge fan of Iron Man in the comics. I love him in the MCU. Not so much I need a whole bunch of them. Like, I got my one Iron Man and I'm good. But this is sexy as fuck, dude. This is awesome.
It's a great looking figure.
Yeah, I like this a lot. Like, if man, if Iron Man were my guy, I'd be so happy about this right now.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. And I think you're right. I think they are going to reissue them eventually anyways. And one thing that I think pisses people off more is when you can look at a reissue and go like, that's more like a 1.5. That's not a 2.0. That's not like that next level of figure. They've just tweaked a couple things and pumped it out the door again, right? I think that upsets people more. I do think that USB being added in and upgrading the technology is at least enough of a leap forward that maybe people will be able to buy into it a little bit better. We got Loco Lou here in the chat with a "What's poppin', people?" Hopefully I did that justice, good sir. Love to have you here as always, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Hope the family's doing well as well, of course. And Sil Darin says, yeah, the nurse one, I can't remember, is rough. Yeah, Nurse Chapel. She looks like melted wax. You love to see it. What about you, Adam? What do you think with regards to kind of maybe this upcoming leap forward in some technology here? I call it leap forward because of Hot Toys. It's not that exciting of technology, really. I mean, USB functionality has existed in figures for a pretty long time. I think it's shocking how long it's taken them to get there, but they just know that they can keep asking for $500 a figure every time they tweak something and upgrade it, right? What are your thoughts here on this Iron Man, if you want, or just on that future technology coming out?
This Iron Man, I mean, it looks really nice if you're into the comics versions of them. Not for me, but this to me is a sign of the times, technology-wise, that the 3.0s or 2.0s that haven't been done, now probably we're looking at 3.0s, are around the corner. And I actually do think it's a positive step. I actually just canceled the fractal armor Iron Man for a couple reasons. One of them being that I see this is coming, and I don't, why do I need that? I have a Mark III and I have a Mark IV, and the Age of Ultron. So I would love the first Avengers. Is that Mark 7, Mark 6? Someone will correct me.
The first Avengers? That would have been the Mark 7.
Yeah. So
it starts out as the Mark 6, but the final scene is the Mark 7 suit.
Okay. I would love a version of that with the light up USB powered
That's
armor,
my favorite outfit.
Or I would like I have a Mark IV, but how I have him is with helmet off, holding a cup of coffee and the donuts, kind of like relaxing, like he is against that billboard. So I would get one in the armor like that if it's USB powered.
Do you have the donuts to go with it? Like you said, you have it displayed like that? Yeah. That's pretty cool. Where'd you get those from?
It was eBay. I mean, it came with the figure.
Oh, it did come with the figure. Oh, I didn't realize that one came with that. I mean, that should.
A cup of coffee.
That's fair.
In a donut in a box. Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. That's amazing. I love Etsy for that kind of stuff too. I randomly look for 6 scale accessories in Etsy, whether it's like Coke bottles or food or whatever, right? Like I got a pack of smokes for my Deadpool. So like after a battle, he can look like he's lighting up a smoke. Like, it's all the things. But we got Iron Man himself here in the chat saying Fractured looks sick. It does look sick, dude. I will agree with you on that one. But you how come you said you ditched the pre-order on that one? You just didn't need another Iron Man?
I didn't need another Iron Man, and I had a few other figures come in, and then I ditched it this week because I saw this, and I'm like, yeah, that confirms.
I like this more.
Light up, and I'm going to want when they produce the Avengers version or a 3.0 or 4.0, whatever they're at with the Mark IV suit light up. I'm gonna want that version. So I don't need, I have 3 Iron Man figures right now. A 4th will be good. I don't need more than 4 Iron Man figures.
That's fair. That's fair. Let us know, guys, in the comments. Are you feeling the pressure of pending USB functionality coming in with Iron Man figures? Are you knowing that it's coming and still buying current existing figures, or are you going to start holding off and waiting for that next generation? I didn't even put the Mark III kind of suit up look that recently popped up as well, because again, we've seen so many Mark III suits already that I'm starting to feel a little bit fatigued by Iron Man outfits and figures. But I also think that it is a figure similar to like robot figures. I think they should be lit up. Like one of the figures that just hurts my soul that's turned off all the time is actually my C-3PO, because when his light function is turned on with the eyes, that figure just like comes to life. But as soon as you turn him off, he looks like he's dead in the collection. It just drives me crazy. So JB Velo says Alien Big Chap is incoming. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that here in a couple of minutes. But let's first talk some Costic plastic. So, I mean, Costic plastic, definitely not a cheap alternative to, some of our 6 scale franchise loves. But at the end of the day, they've been producing some pretty amazing stuff. And I'm 38 now. I was 37 before I actually ever watched The Crow for the very first time. It's one of those movies that over my entire... Right? I know. Well, it's one of those films that over time, whenever I'd said, I've never seen The Crow, people were like, wait, what? Like, you like superhero style films and you like characters like this and you've never seen The Crow? Like, what the hell are you doing? And so then I finally did watch the movie last year, and I immediately went out and bought the Sideshow version of The Crow, which, to be honest, I love that figure. I know Sideshow gets some bad rap sometimes for their bodies, but I've had that guy standing on one foot in a walking pose with his arms out like this, showing the hand with the hole through it, and it is such a cool, like, powerful looking display pose. I love it. But it doesn't totally look like the actor. Like, there is certainly some room for improvement. Even the Hot Toys variant of this character in the past definitely could have used some work. And I mean, goddamn, this looks really good. Really good. I've never ordered a Costic plastic figure before. This is one that I'm 100% going after, especially just because of, I saw some of that creative liberty that, characters like the Joker took from or inspiration from, guys like the Crow here. So awesome figure. And I'm going to show all 3 really quickly, and then I'll let you guys talk about them here. We also saw Conan the Barbarian from Costic Plastic. I will say there were some photos that I saw of people just taking photos of this guy through like the glass in the con that I thought looked better. I think that these photos still show that he could use some work. He's got that really pouty bottom lip there that's, I think, throwing the likeness off a little bit to Arnie, if I'm being honest. But otherwise, the body looks wild. The hair looks really, really good. I think they could tweak the face just a little bit, but I definitely know who this is, of course, supposed to be. And then last but not least here from Costic Plastic, I saw the David Bowie with the craziest hair, of course, his labyrinth, look here, which again, I was like 35 before I saw the Labyrinth for the first time. I know it's a classic movie. I didn't love it. It's not, I think I've seen it too late in life. So this would be the one that I wouldn't go for, if I'm being honest, but that definitely looks like David Bowie, 1,000%. So Adam, I'll go to you first. Any of these Costic Plastic ones going to come home for you, or are these characters that are big characters for you?
Yeah, I have a Costic Plastic. They worked with it's the banner of the Sly Stallone shop, but Costic Plastic did the most recent Rocky figures. And I have the Underdog, where he's standing on the steps of the Philadelphia Art Museum, where the iconic, he's raising his hands in the air pose, and that's a really good figure. So so far from the figure I have of their work, I'm impressed. Conan the Barbarian, that is one I'm picking up for sure. I love this movie. I love Schwarzenegger, so this for sure is coming home. I think it looks really good. I kind of agree with you saying, maybe they could do a little bit of tweaks on the face, but I think it's, if they did nothing else, I still think it's good. And if they do more to improve it, even better. But this for sure is coming home. You're muted.
I just realized this, StreamYard now, if you're muted, it'll flash at you to be like, you're muted. I'm like, holy fuck, okay. Sorry, StreamYard, you hate to see it. I was going to say, I agree with you in terms of, characters, especially if you love them, right? Sometimes you're willing to give it just like a slight pass on certain qualities because you're like, it's still better than anything else that exists for a Conan the Barbarian. If you freaking love Conan, it's tough because I think when we do these types of shows, we want to be objective and we want to be, positively critical, but only because I feel like there's always a little bit of room for improvement. But like when I think about 6-scale collecting, even when I got started back in what year would that have been now? 2010. So that's, 16 years worth of almost of collecting. The advancements of technology every single year, it seems like it's mind blowing. So like, for me to look at this and be like, it could use some work is almost a joke because it's still like, that's still obviously Conan and it's still obviously Arnold Schwarzenegger. But on the other hand, again, if it's a character you love, you might be able to give it a little bit of a pass, or you might be even more critical because you're like, if they just could dial it in a little bit more, it'd be the greatest Conan I'd ever seen. What about you, Mr. X-Men Supreme? Any of these caustic plastic ones stand out to you as something you'd be interested in?
I'm so disappointed.
Really?
Like, really, the one that I was looking forward to was Jareth, and I realized with the Mando Ahsoka how crazy it is between how different people can see a sculpt. Because I thought she looked okay, and everyone's like, that doesn't look like her at all. I'm like, it doesn't look exactly like Rosario Dawson, but it looks all right. And then I saw, the new one, and I'm like, oh yeah. So that's not her at all. This looks like some kind of alternate reality where Alan Rickman was Jareth to me.
Oh, no.
This
Really?
does not look like David Bowie to me. This is like anything like, and like, bear in mind, up until last year, this was the #1 contender for my favorite movie of all time. Ever since I was like 8 years old, this has been my movie.
Wow. So I just insulted you, and you're never coming back. Then is what you're saying.
No.
You hate to see it.
Well,
Screaming, I'm going home.
Like everyone, to everyone's eye, something catches them, right? So I can't disparage people for thinking that he looks like David Bowie, but to me, he does not. And on top of that, like, there are things you'll forgive. Like, I could have forgiven the fact that they picked the most boring costume from his whole wardrobe in that movie, if it at least looked like him. Like, I'm so disappointed in this, and it's sad. But also, hey, that's money that I don't have to spend now, I guess. I do very much like Eric Draven, though. That's a very good looking figure. I don't think he's fully on the mark, but he's so close. He's so close. Like, when you get him at like the more front on angle, his face looks a little bit wider, like what we saw at the Comic-Con shots, which was weird. But I mean, right here, he looks pretty darn good. And from, this angle from, which is where, let's be real, this is how most people are going to be looking at him, with the head down a little bit, eyes up, because that's how he did. That looks like Brandon Lee right there. And I might get it. I might go after it. I've wanted a Crow for a while. I haven't gotten any of the previous ones. And I was waiting to see what this turned out to be. And I feel like I still want to wait. I don't know how it works with Costic plastic because I've never bought one. I don't know, like, if it's a thing that you can do or you can wait until people have them in hand to see how they look, and if it's worth going after them at that point. I don't know if they're going to be. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna be
Yeah,
sold
do
out.
they
and
sell
already
it? Do they sell out?
They'll be
Yeah.
on sale in Sideshow. So I know that I don't know about the Crow or David Bowie's figure, but I believe Conan O'Brien. Dude, I actually wanted Conan O'Brien.
Wow.
Please, 1/6 gods, give us Conan O'Brien, the action. Conan the Barbarian, I believe, is not wish list. Coming soon on Sideshow's page.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Let us know too, Tim, if you've done some Caustic Plastic, how quickly do these guys sell out? Tim also says here there's also going to be 2 costumes within Labyrinth, so you might get your wish at some point with a slightly more exciting outfit variant potentially. Because
we'll
there
see.
are some pretty crazy ones here. I agree with you. They did definitely seem like they went with the safer of the options. That's for sure. But I definitely still think that looks like David Bowie in the figure, though. I'm surprised. Like the Alan Rickman piece made me laugh, but I think I see it in there. But yeah, to each their own. Right? Like you said, we all see it. We all see it differently, and that Ahsoka was a great example of that.
That surprised me when I had that realization.
That's for sure.
I just got a quick question for Tim. He writes in the chat there, because I know he's connected with Caustic Plastic, those guys.
Yeah.
Did I see correctly that there's going to be a war paint version of Conan? And if so, just let us know.
That's cool.
That would be cool.
That's stupid.
Cool. And honestly,
cool.
a war paint, his likeness would probably come through a little bit more with war paint, if I'm being honest. The body looks incredible too. Like I don't know if that's a bison body or if it's a custom body, but like the vein work in the biceps there, like that's nuts. That looks so good. So, and the hair looks really, really good. So excited about that. Let's keep moving though, because they showed a few other things. Shout out to our buddy Philly from Figurecraft. I asked him permission to show these quick photos of the in-art Superman because he was able to get a bit closer of a look and a better photo. One of the things that I was most excited to see here, if I'm being honest, boys, is literally just that it's not as dark of an outfit as the in-art photos made this look. It's still got the bright vibrancy of the red and the blues in there. The symbol on the front, or like the chest, I feel like still has too much texture. But otherwise, I think this looks friggin' amazing. And so I'm really, really happy that I went in with the in-art variant myself. After you've had a chance to see these photos, guys, did this change whether you're going to get the in-art versus Hot Toys? I think, Adam, if I'm not mistaken, you said you were going Hot Toys route. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I listen. I think this figure looks beautiful, but the head sculpt just not connecting with it in terms of how I perceived David Corenswet's Superman to be. It seems that the Hot Toys one, to me, more accurate reflects the goofiness of a little more goofy in that character. But this, I mean, you can't go wrong with this. You know, if I hadn't, if you just show me Superman and I hadn't seen the movie, I'd be like, yeah, dude, this is awesome. Get this one.
Right.
But after seeing the movie, I'm still sticking with Hot Toys. But it looks incredible.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like tonally, the Hot Toys one nails it more. It just looks like he's having more fun. He's a little more bright. This definitely still has a very serious vibe to it, which, other than maybe when he goes after Crypto, in Lex's office, when he gets to the office and he's like, "Where's Crypto?" Right? Like, that's when he looks pretty pissed off. But otherwise, for the rest of the movie, he's pretty light, considering. So, Ron says, "Great, now I'm back to not knowing which Superman I want." Makes sense. Tim says, in response to our question, Caustic Plastic usually does sell out right away, but once they arrive in hand, they sell out shortly after that. So, sorry, usually doesn't sell out right away is maybe what he meant to say, because he said once they arrive in hand, they sell out shortly after that. So, don't wait much longer after that if that's going to be the case. I Am Vengeance says, "Wow, this in art looks so much better than Hot Toys. How people can't see that is puzzling." Hey, honestly, again though, it's one of those things, right? I see David Bowie in that Labyrinth sculpt. He sees what did you say? Not I want to say Ron Perlman. Definitely not Ron Perlman.
Can you imagine Ron Perlman in that movie with the package?
Yeah. Right. Oh my God. Yeah. 100%. Ryan Dean says, "Hey Ben, panel and chat just joined in." Fabio said Conan has medical grade silicone for the body. They made it custom for the fig, so that's cool.
Nice.
Cool. Thanks for clarifying that, good Sarah. Lastly, we got Yomo in the chat with a "What's up, everyone? Good to see you, buddy." And then Tim follows that up with saying, "Yes, there will be a war paint version of Conan, and both it and the Crow will have 2 portraits."
Oh, great! Thanks.
I'm very excited about that. Let's move on here because Dave, I know you're a Mondo Toys guy, and our buddy Brick Artemis out there in the world. If you don't follow Brick Artemis, make sure you check out his YouTube channel. I don't think he's here today. You hate to see it. He's a fake fan. No, I'm just kidding. I love that guy. But go follow Mr. Brick Artemis. He loves the Mondo. So do I. These are fantastic. And every time I see a new Mondo figure come up, I have to tell myself, don't look at it too hard because you're going to want it. For me, the ones that stood out here of the couple photos we'll scroll through, definitely is Superman and Two-Face. I have had the Batman and the Joker from Mondo, and I actually ended up selling them recently because I've now upgraded the animated series Batman that I have with the incoming Jazz Inc. Animated Batman. So I was like, I don't need 2 animated Batmans at 6 scale. So I sold them. And then, of course, like Two-Face, Harvey Two-Face is one of my favorite animated series characters in the animated series. So I'm like, man, now I don't have anybody to pair him with if I wanted to buy him. But I do have this exact figure in the 1/12 scale. So again, I couldn't talk myself out of it. Superman, though, I'm like, I love the animated Superman, too, and that thing looks freaking cool. The Storm looks really great. We got some Thundercats in here. We'll talk about Rick maybe in a second. And then, of course, we got, Mr. Sinister, as well as a Rogue. That Rogue looks pretty freaking great. So, X-Men, I'll go to you first on this one. In terms of the Mondos that are being shown here, anything stood out to you that you're like, damn, that's coming home? So it's looking like July or August 2025 is when some of these are going to start popping up. So
like
into July.
I just want to point out the irony that I'm not so big on the Costic plastic, but I want every single one of the Mondo pieces. The giant Marvel Legends, as some have said. So the irony is not lost on me. But the Storm. Man, we've been waiting on her. We've been waiting on her for a while. And they said
Storm
that she has more head sculpts that are going to be cool. A part of it. But I don't know if, because when they first had her put up, they had an additional sculpt that's not here in this picture that they then took down. Okay. So I don't know if they said that before or after that. So I don't know if that was like the additional one or now if that's... Either way, I'm going to have her in her ponytail probably the whole time. That's probably where I'm going. Yeah. But like, Storm is looking fantastic. This is, not the finalized version they said, but she looks great. Superman looks great. I'm only doing X-Men for Mondo right now, but Superman is tempting me, especially after seeing all of his accessories.
Yep.
Like, I can have Superman carrying Lois.
Yeah.
And it's not all janky, like I had to pose her to make her do that. That's fantastic. Yep. Oh, that's really good. And Mix's Fitlick is going to be there too? Like, come on, man. That's great. Yep. Like, this is going to be a fantastic figure. Even Two-Face with his little straight jacket. And I'll tell you what, if I there's a world where I got nothing but Mondo and I got all of them.
You got
like there's a world where that happened because I want the
dangerous line though.
They're all dangerous. They're all so dangerous. Their Match of the Universe stuff is amazing. That She-Ra that they just put up with fucking Swiftwind, dude. I don't even care about Swiftwind, but I want that horse, man. That thing is beautiful. Jesus,
100%. 100%. Yeah. And even like the Spider-Man animated line, they've been going pretty hard on. Batman animated series, right? X-Men, like they've got the lines locked in. It's just like choose your own adventure. The like you said, the Masters of the Universe line, that line has been filling out now for at least 2 years. Like at least 2 years of the 3 years I've been doing YouTube, I'm talking about those figures. And like, man, if you guys have been going in on the Masters of the Universe line, that is looking pretty freaking sweet. Especially if you're able to get like Panther or some of those, like holy crap. But what are your thoughts on Mondo, Adam? And if not on Mondo, then we also have the Rick O'Connell being shown here. I can't read which company that is, guys. Let me know which company is showing that Rick. But I've wanted a Rick O'Connell in my display since I started collecting. I freaking loved the Mummy film, as well as like a $6 million man here. I'm like, that's not something I need, but it blows me away that we don't already have a good representation of that character. What are your thoughts on Mondo or these other teases here, buddy?
I haven't collected any of the Mondo animation figures, but that Superman, I saw a picture of the one with Lois Lane. I want that. That is a figure that I do want. Mm-hmm. And him holding Lois Lane is exactly how I'd have it posed. The Lino figure I'm interested in. That might be something I could see picking up. But that $6 million man, yo, that's the first I've seen it. Is this photo here? I want this. I loved this show when I was a little kid. Yes, I absolutely am interested in this $6 million man figure. In fact, I had like a 12-inch $6 million man. It was like a Mego figure back. It came out in late 70s, early 80s, and played the hell out of that. So this is what I want.
I'm just looking up here. Mondo 6 scale turtles as well. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, that's a ooh. Who else pre-ordered that Leonardo that just was put up? That from that Big F Studios. I did, and now I'm like, well, shit.
Because yeah, like turtles for me is huge. Let's see. I'm just taking a look here. I'm gonna pull this up so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. Give me 1 second. Let's stop this screen. I hate that they've changed this program, StreamYard, and it is so much worse in terms of functionality than it used to be. Like, it's like they took something that was amazing and just busted it entirely. Let's see here. Can you guys see this? Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Robin that got shown like a week ago. We never talked about him. Thundercats, he had the Lino. Let's see here. Have they put up the Superman on here yet? I don't see it yet. Probably not.
No, he's not been put up for order yet. No, yeah. Neither him nor Storm.
Some cool shit though.
Yeah,
some cool shit. Really
so they're doing the $6 million man. Mondo?
No, they're not doing $6 million man. I don't know. Okay. I can't see who it was. If I'm being honest, let us know. Maybe Jose Plus, if you were there, buddy. Who's doing the $6 million man? If you saw up close, because that looks pretty freaking cool. Maybe I can see it here. It just says Universal, but I don't see a company that's working on it. So, that's pretty cool. And yeah, the Rick O'Connell, I would definitely go in. Did you guys like the Mummy film? Is that any nostalgia for that for you guys?
It was okay.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, for sure. I saw that they've talked about trying to do a fourth one at some point and bringing Rachel Weisz back and stuff like that, right? The original cast, but what's his name is just not he's a very different guy. He's 30 years older now, right?
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah. So, and quite a shocking age for him, like in terms of like how he's changed what he looks like. I mean, like with all the hair and everything that he had back in the day and everything, like he just like looks like an entirely different guy. The Whale movie, man, that hit me in the feels so hard.
Yeah,
that movie. Oh my god.
That was
LBO is doing $6 million man. I've never heard of LBO. Never even heard of them. Thanks, Tim. Definitely appreciate it. And then the company Let's Be Onyx is doing it. Okay, sorry, Let's Be Onyx is doing it. Never heard of it before. And I did not see the turtles in there as well. I did have the Battlestar slide, dude, and I just realized that I didn't add it in JB Velo, but Admiral Adama is in there, and he was, oh man, I don't know if I told you guys this a little while ago. I was craving watching Battlestar Galactica again, so I was looking online like Amazon to see how much the Blu-ray or the 4K like disc set would be, and it was like $180 for the Blu-ray, and I was like, okay, fuck it, like I'll buy it because I haven't seen it in a while. And then I decided to go on Facebook Marketplace. Always do this, my friends. Always do this. Go on Facebook Marketplace, see if anybody's selling it locally. Because somebody was selling the Blu-ray set, the whole set that I was about to spend $180 on, for $20. And I messaged them urgently to be like, hey, like $20 per season, or is it like $20 for the whole box set? And they're like, oh, $20 for the whole box set. I'm like, I'm on my way. Put it aside for me. I will buy it. So of course then I put it on the shelf and I haven't watched it yet. So definitely gotta get back to it because I love it. So, and 6CL Turtles, dude, thanks for shouting that out, Mr. Loco Lou. I will look into that a little bit more. Let's keep going, guys, because we still have more on the docket here, of course. We've got The Last of Us from Limb Toys finally being shown. And let's be honest, Limb Toys, while sometimes they are a little bit slow in terms of getting releases out to people, the last one that I saw, which was the Nathan Drake figure from Uncharted, that was an incredible figure, and I definitely had the FOMO on that one. I've been keeping an eye out on eBay to see, if any prices have come down on it. Unfortunately, just not. Like, if anything, it's getting more expensive, it feels like, by the day. So if any of you have Nathan Drake and you want to sell it for, what did they say in the buy-sell trades, like a reasonable price, or whenever people say, like, looking for a good price on this, let me know. I'll consider it. But love The Last of Us. I love the games. I've probably played The Last of Us now on PlayStation 3, 4, and 5, so I've played it at least 3 times all the way through on various systems as they've upgraded the games. And, most of you guys have heard that I was very vocal in my feelings on Pedro as Joel and Bella Ramsey as Ellie. I didn't mind Pedro as Joel, if I'm being honest, and I even considered buying the figure. But I really didn't believe Bella Ramsey as Ellie. She just didn't personify the character the way that I have felt like she did in the games. I didn't root for her the same way as I rooted for Ellie in the games. So for me, I've decided just to not go in on the live action Last of Us at all, even if they release more of their characters. But what I would be interested in is locking in these limb toys, because these look fantastic. Like, this looks like it's literally been ripped off the screen of the game, and they're even teasing a clicker in here as well, which is pretty cool. So just curious from you, Dave, what's your thoughts on Last of Us, the game versus the show? Would you buy either? Would that be something that you'd be interested in?
I've done neither. I've not played the game. I've not seen the show. I have no attachment at all to any of what's going on here. It's another zombie movie as far as I'm concerned.
That's fair. I mean, dude, you gotta try the game. You gotta try it. You gotta try it.
It's one of the heaviest. Sounds like it's a really good game. From what I've heard, it's really nice.
It's one of those things, though, right? Sometimes things can get overhyped, right? So it's like, I've had people be like, "Oh, this is the best video game I've ever played," or "that greatest movie I've ever seen," and then you watch it and you're like, "Oh, like, it's not too bad." But like, for me, I will say it's easily one of my favorite games of all time. I actually just re-downloaded Uncharted yesterday as well on the PS5, the remastered version. So I'm going to start playing through 1, 2, and 3 again, because they're amazing games as well. But I love Naughty Dog. I love Naughty Dog as a company. I think that they do amazing content. What are your thoughts here, Adam, on limb toys in terms of Joel and Ellie? Is this something that you guys are interested in, or yourself, I should say?
I've watched the series. I love the first season. I did not like the second season overall. I mean, it was well made, but I didn't like where they went with the story. I know it's faithful. I've never played the game. I know it's faithful to the game. I mean, these look like what I've seen of the. I mean, I've watched on YouTube the cutscenes from the video game, so these look pretty faithful to that. I'd just be curious. You've played both games, right, Ben?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you watched? Have you watched both seasons of the show?
Yep.
Do you think? Because to me, what happened to Joel's character seemed like it was more appropriate for a video game and less so for the show as a story device. And going back to what you're saying, I don't think Bella Ramsey can carry a show. I just don't. 100%. And I think not having Pedro Pascal there, it has hurt the show.
It's interesting because I knew what was going to come in the second season. Like at the end of the first season, when everybody was like, "Oh my God, I love Last of Us season 1. It's such a great show." And I'm like, "Oh, just wait." Because when the second video game came out, it created such divisiveness between like the community of people who loved Last of Us. Some people like myself really liked that Joel got killed, and that set really in the game, that set the whole story into motion, because if he doesn't die pretty much within the first hour and a half of gameplay, then the rest of the game of the season of the game 2 just can't really start. It sets that game into motion, right? And it sets this revenge plot against each other between Abby and Ellie. And like I said, in the game, they do a really good job of making you really care about Ellie. And so when you have that pain of seeing Joel get murdered, it's like, oh my God, I can't wait for Ellie to go and kill Abby. You can't wait. You're all in. She can be a monster in the game, and you're going to root for her. And she does become that in the game. Like, she is very much a monstrous character. And to the perception of anybody else, so is Joel, right? They're both monsters, but that's one of the best parts of the game. And what they've tried to touch on in the show is that it's all a matter of perspective, right? If you are in the perspective of Joel and Ellie, then you're just defending yourselves, and you're trying to survive in this post-apocalyptic world. But if you're on Abby's side, and Joel, like in the game, I remember very, very clearly taking a gun and shooting that doctor right in the head. And loving it, because I wanted to save Ellie on the table, right? I was going to save her, and nobody was standing in my way, including that doctor. But it wasn't until the second game when you realize that that's the father of Abby that you then get to play as Abby, and you get to see the pain and like the divisiveness of that character, and like what that does to her. It breaks her. And so you can also start to see her side. Where I think the show failed is they shouldn't have broken it up as much as they have in the season 2. They should have basically given you all of game 2 in one season. Because I think what they've done by showing us just Ellie's perspective so far has drawn it out too far. In the game, you get to play as Abby's perspective then all of a sudden for hours on end, and you get to, as I said, understand her point of view. So when they finally face off against each other, it's so dramatic and so rewarding, and you kind of care about both of them. And so as a result, it's so hard to decide who's in the right and who's in the wrong. It splits you in half. It's that gray area of morality that you exist in. And I think it's in the game, they do it beautifully. In the show, they've drawn it out. Like you said, without Pedro in there now, Bella Ramsey can't carry the show by herself, but she shouldn't have to, because without Joel dying, none of that revenge plot from both sides can actually start. But breaking that revenge plot in half and making us wait 2 more years or whatever it is for Abby's story, people aren't going to care by the time it gets to that point. They already don't care anymore. So I think the show failed in its mission. The game, though, does not. It as I said, it is a very, very powerful plot device. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question. So
it does.
I love Last of Us. I could talk about it all day. So and I had a pretty heated debate with my buddies from Collecting Weekly, like Eddie Money Mendez and Marco and everybody, because Eddie, for example, like he hated the fact that Joel got killed both in the game and in the show. And I was like, yeah, but it had to happen. It had to. But anyways, I digress. Well, definitely play the game. You could probably skip on the show.
Yeah, my thought is I kind of agree with you, because again, I know what happens in the game. I think the second season should have been evenly split between Ellie and Abby's story and getting to know her more. You had a little bit of an intro in that first episode, and then she was basically more or less gone for the whole season.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Ben Thomas Show, OSK has Lim Toys Nathan currently sold for $276. Hell yeah. I might have to do that. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for the shout out. I appreciate that. Cool. Let's keep it going here. Let's keep it going. We got lots still to talk about, which is awesome. Alien, big chap. Holy crap. Okay, so this for me, this year so far has been like the year of nostalgic callbacks, right? If we're talking Robocop, which we're going to talk about in a bit, we're talking Terminator, we're talking Alien franchise, like so many great originals that are now being 2.0. Some of these are being 3.0. And I feel like for as long as I've been a 6-scale collector and doing YouTube and all the things, people have been asking for these characters. So now we're finally getting them, and it's time to, put our money where our mouths are to a certain extent. But we also have some options, right? Like the big chap here, for example. I have got the Scorched Alien on pre-order from Alien Romulus. I think that figure looks fantastic, and I love that he's got the alien legs. It just looks super freaking gnarly. Whereas the big chap, though, is the classic. He's the original, right? He's from that original, 1979? I think 79? Yeah, film.
79. Yep.
79. And this is what got it started, right? And I was talking to this with my buddy about this the other day, because he's a huge Alien fan, and I even showed him both figures, and I said, as a non-collector, which one would you lean towards? And even he said I'd lean more towards the Scorched, because I like that it looks more like an alien. In the first film with the big chap, you don't see him in his legs as much. It's darker, it's a little bit more implied, but it's not I feel like you see the full look of him less. And so to me, the Scorched Alien, I think, still really truly represents it for me. But it's hard to disagree with the fact that, again, this is the Alien that really got it started. And if you are a huge Alien fan, if that's your nostalgic button in that chest that I always talk about, that punch in the chest, it's hard to disagree with this one. The only thing that I'd say, Adam, before I get your take on Alien here, is while this is clearly a 2.0, I don't think that they improved it so dramatically that if you have the first one, you need to now jump on this next one. I think the first one is still no slouch, and there are elements of the first one that I think I actually still like more. I like that it's a little darker. I like the legs and the figure butt in a weird way a little bit more. I think it looks better. Whereas the new one, I think is better for the folks, of course, that don't need to chase that original now and pay those crazy secondary market prices. Adam, what are your thoughts here on Alien? And were you a big Alien fan when it came out? Like what What is it? How does this land? How does it land for you? I guess is the question.
I love the first two Alien movies, and the second one, Aliens, is in my top 20, top 25 all-time favorite films. So I did not pre-order the one from Romulus. I was waiting to see, are they going to do a 2.0 of Big Chap? And I'm so glad I waited, because this is the one I want. And like you said, I don't have to chase. I've been looking on the secondary market to get was looking for a long time to get the Big Chap, and I didn't want to pay those prices, and it's an older figure, so I had some concerns there. So this looks phenomenal. That first photo you showed where the aliens arms are kind of like this, I would love to do a pose with that figure. I give Hot Toys credit with the offerings in the last, not just the last week, but the last few months, as you said, with Terminator, with the Predator from the first movie.
Predator. That was the other one I forgot to mention. Yeah.
Yeah, with Robocop. With this, they're giving collectors who are newer to collecting an opportunity to pick these up and not have to chase down older figures and pay through the nose to get them. So it's smart. They see what people are paying in the secondary market, so they're not leaving money on the table. They know there may be a little slight tweak to them, and they're coming out with 2.0s if they can improve the technology. Yeah, I'm getting this one. This looks fantastic, and the beauty of this is they've had so many Aliens versus Predators. They have comics with Batman versus Alien, and you could if you're a photographer or just want to pose, you could pose Deadpool, you can pose Wolverine, Batman. You could have so much fun with an Alien figure if you're into this franchise.
That's a good call. That's a good call, actually. I never even thought about that. 100% you could. 100% you could. And it's interesting. Moose is in the mentioning here said it didn't wait for Big Chap, but I got a good price before this was announced, which is surprising because that's I was seeing secondary market pricing pretty high on this guy still. But that does kind of play into it a little bit, Dave, as well. In terms of secondary market pricing, with some of these 2.0s or even 3.0s that are coming out for some of these options, this does potentially throw, something like Facebook Marketplace or whatever you guys get in the States, your figures from on secondary, kind of a bone, right? There's a good opportunity to now potentially pick these up at a pretty reasonable price, especially if you don't think that the new version is so significant of an upgrade that you desperately need it. What are your thoughts here on Alien, Big Chap, maybe Big Chap versus Scorched, and what the secondary might start looking like?
Alien has been a thing for me that's always been there.
Mm-hmm.
Like this movie, this was the year I was born, so I haven't existed in a world without aliens, all of the iterations of the tense. But I've seen them for the most part. I've not seen all of them, and they were cool. It's never been a thing that really stuck with me.
No,
I don't even remember. I didn't even remember this guy having a humanoid looking skull going on. I didn't even remember that.
Nope, fair. Same, actually. Same, if I'm being fully honest. I didn't realize it was so translucent. Like the Scorched Xenomorph had it, and I remember seeing that in the film in Alien Romulus, but I didn't remember the Big Chap having this.
It looks cool.
Not this dramatically. Mm-hmm. But it's actually one of the reasons that I thought that maybe the older version was slightly more accurate, because I was like, it's a little darker, a little less opaque, and it's like a little harder to see that skull underneath. I'm like, which one is more accurate? But I haven't seen people say it as much, so it must be more accurate than I realized. So, and again, a film from 1979 is not going to have the same HD quality on your screen necessarily, unless you got the 4K cut now, if there's one that exists. But it's pretty cool. Did you like Alien Romulus? Did you see that one?
I didn't see it. I didn't feel the pull to it. All those Alien, Predator, Robocop, all of that. Like I watched all those movies when I was a little kid. Like probably shouldn't have been, but we all did, and they were fun. I had toys from the movies when they made them. But it just wasn't a thing that was really a big deal for me. More or less, my ethos has always been superheroes. That's always been where I've existed, and these were cool when they'd show up like we're talking about in the comics where you've got Superman versus aliens and you've got Batman versus Predator. That's some cool shit. when that happens. That's really, really cool. It's not cool enough for me to buy an alien figure to have him fight Superman, but you know, it's
True.
it's still pretty cool. So you know, every now and again, I appreciate them for what they are and what they're doing. Just not a thing that I'm particularly into.
Did you like or have you seen, or did you like the Prey film for the Predator franchise?
No, never watched it because it was on. It's on Max now, right?
Hulu. I think it's on Max now. I think it started out on Hulu.
Okay, because it was on Hulu. I remember like anytime there was a thing on a streaming platform that I don't have, I'm not gonna buy a streaming platform just to watch a thing. But like if it's on there, I may watch it. I've been thinking about going to watch Prey because it sounds like it's a really good movie, and this new one coming up looks interesting.
Well,
I did watch. Yeah, I did watch. What was it called? Was it called Predators? Where they had the big guy and the Predator dog and all that, and they were in like the suburbs.
Oh no, that was I think Predators. Yeah, that was that was the one that had Adrian Brody I think in it. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I watched that one. That was cool.
Yeah. I don't think I don't know if I ever saw that whole movie if I'm being 100%, because I would say like you, Alien 1 and 2, or like I should say like Adam, those ones have the most nostalgia for me. But I had started to feel like the Predator franchise and the Alien franchise was kind of dying. Like it just was like, you know, it was a relic of the past. It was great films for its time, but like it hasn't had a lot of love in a while. Nothing that really like got me amped up. And it wasn't until I watched Prey that I was like, okay, I like Predator again. This was freaking cool and a great story. And the main girl in her name is Nehru. She's awesome. I wish we got a figure of her if I'm being 100%. And so when Alien Romulus came out, I was like, maybe I'll have the same feeling because I'd started to feel like again the Alien film franchise had kind of waned in my heart a little bit over the years. And it was amazing too. I had a great time with Alien Romulus, way better than I was expecting. So I would recommend both. If you have an afternoon at some point, and like I know it's not a superhero film, but I'd say give it a chance and see if it re-inspires your love a little bit. Or don't if you're trying to avoid collecting from these lines. You'll save money maybe if you don't watch them.
Well, no, I think it's cool in the fact that we've made it it's become an extended part of the DC universe. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty cool. By way of having these characters interact with more prominent like Batman and Superman and Wolverine now crazy. And all of them. Like I'm a sucker for a crossover. I love seeing worlds collide, and I think that's just fantastic. So like I'm definitely inclined to check some of this stuff out where I haven't before, just whenever it hits me. Like I love Andor. I only just now watched like episode 7 of season 2.
Oh, really?
I'm so far behind. Like it just hasn't been like one of those things that has been in the forefront of my mind to do. But now I'm probably on that track where I'm going to finish it out now and finally catch up. But yeah.
Absolutely. Ronnie says, I really need to rewatch the Alien films. It's been years since I last saw them. I felt that way about Robocop 2, and we're going to talk about Robocop here in a couple of minutes. There was big parts of that movie that I completely forgot even existed, including like a dance scene with this dude dancing with his butt in this whole thing. And it was like, I did not remember that from that film at all. Shane, One Six Figure Focus, shared it with me, and I was like, oh my god, I'll see if I can pull it up while we talk about it. But it was freaking, I was like, what is this actually from this movie? I had to go back and rewatch the movie. So last thing about the Alien, and we'll move on. I've seen a person named Daniel out there. I can't remember his last name. He usually posts pretty critical posts of Hot Toys from what I've seen, but some of his stuff nails it. And he mentioned here that this Alien is missing, the big chap is missing 2 back teeth. So you can see, the edit on the right, the original on the left. I did take a look better at reference images, and he was right. He's definitely missing teeth. And now that I like have seen that, now I can't unsee it. So I definitely hope that they add that for folks, especially if you are big one chap or big chap fans, big chap fans.
Could be had his wisdom teeth removed.
That's right. Had his wisdom teeth removed. Guys, let us know if you are picking up a big chap, and this or that. Is it the scorched alien? Is it the big chap? Is it both? Is it neither? You guys tell us in the comments down below if you can. And also, by the way, guys, we have somewhere between 50 and 60 people watching live right now. Thank you so much for getting nuts with us here on Sunday. I hope you're enjoying the show. Hope you're laughing along with us and feeling good for your Sunday. If you don't mind hitting the like button if you're having a fun time with the show, guys, would definitely be appreciated. Now, this was quick turnaround, Dave, as well. This is, of course, we're looking at Mr. James Bond from No Time to Die. And it's interesting because, of course, I feel like it was only probably a month or two ago they announced the Tux version, and then about a week or 2 weeks later they announced this kind of commando style looking version. I think this one, in terms of at least the pre-order photos that had gone up, I thought this one looked better, even though I'm pretty darn confident it's exactly the same sculpt as the Tux version. I just think that at the time it had better photos, better lighting, and so it just brought that likeness to life a little bit more. Because at first, with the Tux version, I thought that didn't look like Daniel Craig at all, and now, of course, we're seeing this being the actual release photos, and I definitely see Daniel Craig in here. He's just still not necessarily my Bond. And I would have, if it was going to be a Daniel Craig for me, I think I would have gone with Casino Royale. That was still my favorite of the Bond films of his era. But otherwise, I'm still kind of desperately hoping we still see other Bonds come at some point. Like, for me, Pierce Brosnan was my guy. He's the one that I really truly like grew up with. He's the Bond that I remember, going to my dad's house on Friday nights. When my parents split, every other weekend I'd drive to my dad's house, or he'd pick me up, and we'd usually rent a Blockbuster movie on the way and order a Domino's pizza and sit down and watch a film. And it was the Pierce Brosnan James Bond films that I watched most with him. So like he's my guy. That's the one that I'd want to order. But this does look pretty good. It does look pretty good, and a really fast freaking turnaround. Are you guys shocked by the turnaround time? I definitely was. Tell us about James Bond for you, Dave. What I think it's been a few weeks since we've talked. I don't know if I ever got your take on it. Who's your James Bond?
Growing up, the only ones that I ever saw was like Roger Moore mostly, but he only had like one movie, right?
No, he had about 6 or 7.
Who was it that had one movie but was like really a big deal?
George Lazenby had one movie. Timothy Dalton had 2 movies.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking Timothy Dalton was having the fewer.
Brosnan had 4 or 5.
That's
but
awesome.
like, yeah, Roger Moore was who I always thought of as a kid as James Bond, and like, anytime I think of Pierce Brosnan, I think of Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, that's what JB Velo just said. He's like, Mrs. Doubtfire was a great James Bond film.
Yeah.
He is the villain. He's the villain of that movie, good sir. I don't know. Hate to see it.
Yeah, I never saw one of his James Bond movies. I only ever saw him in Mrs. Doubtfire. So that's all I know him as is the guy who got run by Fruited. But
yeah.
But I like this guy though. I like Daniel Craig. I like him in the things that I've seen them in. Like I love Cowboys and Aliens. That was a great time right there.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a great looking figure though. I think I agree with you that I think this is the same sculpt.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering why this one's out already, and the other one's still hanging out. I don't know if they're like adjusting things or if they're trying to change the suit somehow. We got a lot of people are bashing on that suit, so I don't know.
It did have really chunky collars on it, and like some of the tailoring, the stitch work on it looked pretty rough, if I'm being honest. Like the stitch work on this looks 100 times better. I think this is a much better figure. But I remember even doing my figure preview of the Tux Bond at the time. I was like, I actually liked this look from the film more, kind of the combo or like the commando kind of style look. I think that was cooler. And then they gave it to us, and I'm like, shit, okay, well, I don't want to buy either at this point. So be careful what you wish for in Hot Toys, because it might come true. Adam, I don't know if I've ever asked you officially, who is your favorite Bond? And was this one that you were considering? Sorry, before you go, Ronnie says, come on, people, 39 people have liked this video, 54 are watching, hit the like button, all the cool kids are doing it. You want to be cool, don't you? I like that peer pressure, Ron. Thanks very much.
What's up with that?
Do it.
That's fair. Tell us about it. Tell us about it, Adam. Tell us.
Actually, Craig is. I've seen all the Bond movies, and Craig is my favorite Bond. Because what I like about his films, from Casino Royale to No Time to Die, I think there's like 6 movies, and they tell, unlike the other Bond films, which are self-contained stories, the Craig films tell a continuous serialized story, and I kind of prefer that style of storytelling, and I really like him as Bond. I have a third party DID Bond I got like a year or two ago, before there's any hint that Hot Toys was going to get this license. With him in the tux. So I'm going to hold off until either a GoldenEye Pierce Brosnan figure comes out and/or a Sean Connery Bond. But I like Brosnan. You know, it's funny you mention Mrs. Doubtfire. When I think of Pierce Brosnan, the first thing that comes to mind is a TV show he was in called Remington Steele. It was aired in the 1980s. It was like a comedy action show, Private Eye, and they wanted him to replace Roger Moore, the producers of Bond, but he couldn't get out of his contract for Remington Steele, and so that's why they hired Timothy Dalton to do 2 Bonds. And he was a good Bond. He was more akin to Daniel Craig, but I think they weren't happy because he wasn't lighthearted enough for that era, so they replaced him with Pierce Brosnan when his show got canceled.
I did not know that in terms of Bond history, if I'm being honest, and I don't even know if I've ever seen the Dalton Bonds, if I'm being 100%. I've seen a lot of the Bond films, the Connery ones especially. I like the Roger Moore ones, and Pierce, of course. I don't even think I've even seen all of Daniel Craig's ones. I think it was Spectre was the one that lost me. I can't remember. One of them I thought was confusing and I didn't love it, and then I didn't return back to him for a while. But this No Time to Die was a pretty cool movie, and I do like the accessories that come with this figure. So I'm excited for the figure collectors who are Daniel Craig fans. I know our buddy Shane 16 Figure Focus. He's a huge Daniel Craig guy, so it's kind of exciting for the folks who are most excited anyways. And Valkyrie Magnus here in the chat with us. Love to see it, buddy. Good to have you here. He says Remington Steele was a great show. I forgot Remington Steele ever existed, if I'm being 100% Mr. Adam. But now that you say that,
I'm a repository for all the great and cheesy 80s trivia from.
That's why you're here, man. That's why you're here. Keep us honest. You keep us honest.
My babysitter was the TV.
There you go. There you go. I'm glad it didn't, feed you anything weird in the microwave or anything at the very least. But let's keep going here, because we're happy to have you here as always, my friend. Sam from Death Stranding 2 is also here. I'm going to keep this one pretty short because I feel like unless people have played the game, you probably don't have much of a connection to this. But one of the things that, of course, that I do like seeing about this figure is, of course, the likeness. And I want to say the likeness to Daryl Dixon, but what the hell is his name? Actually, his name again? It's on the tip of my tongue, but
Norman
Reedus.
Norman Reedus. Thank you. Yes. I mean, I've loved Norman Reedus right since Boondock Saints. I never really liked Boondock Saints 2, but the first one was an amazing film. I liked him through The Walking Dead, of course, as Daryl Dixon. I haven't caught his Walking Dead spin-off shows, though, I'll be honest, and I have not played Death Stranding. Yeah? Or like the new show is good?
His new show is very good.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Cool.
The Daryl Dixon show, or whatever it's called.
There's all of a sudden there was just so many spin-offs for The Walking Dead that I'm like, I didn't even know which one to start with, or is there a starting point? Can you just dive in whenever? And The Walking Dead even had lost me after Negan bashed Glenn's face in with a baseball bat. It really lost me after that. I never really watched it again. So, and anytime I've ever considered going back and rewatching it again, I've been like, nah, it's too heavy. I can't handle it. So, but I do like video games overall. I've considered buying Death Stranding multiple times. The one piece that always deterred me from the first game was that it was very menu heavy. And it's basically like if you've ever played a Grand Theft Auto, it's basically a side quest mission kind of game where you're basically just transporting goods between bases and carrying things. And it's the most realistic version of carrying shit on your back ever in a game, right? Normally you have inventory menus and, you pick up something and it goes in your inventory, but you don't see it on the physical character. In Death Stranding, you do. Everything you pick up, you have to hook to yourself in some way. So you'll get to the point where you're balancing boxes and shit trying to walk up mountains, and then you'll trip and you'll drop all your shit. I'm I think that would frustrate me too aggressively to play. But some of the visuals of the game were amazing, and I have heard that they've tweaked it a little bit in the game too and made it better. So I've been considering doing like a good a YouTube breakdown of the first game, so I could kind of see everything that I've missed up till this point, and then just start at Death Stranding 2. However, in terms of the figure, I don't really feel like I need it. I'm not the right market for it. But it does look really freaking good. It definitely looks like Norman Reedus, especially the Artisan hair. I think he's perfect candidate for kind of that messy look. But if you don't want to deal with Artisan hair, it also has a version here with the sculpted. And once again, as a figure, this thing looks crazy good. I think it looks amazing. What do you guys think? Any thoughts here on Sam from Death Stranding? I can start with you, Adam.
Until this was announced, I never even heard of this game.
Fair.
But I would love a Daryl Dixon figure. I'm a fan of his character from The Walking Dead. I agree with you. After Negan's introduction, the show kind of went downhill. The season with the Whisperers was pretty good. I did like that season. And in terms of the spinoffs, none of them are good, with the exception of the Daryl Dixon show and the 6-episode series where they bring Rick Grimes back, and Michonne actually is very good. Other than that, you can ditch the rest.
Hashtag release Okoye. I keep seeing floating around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actress, yeah. Yeah. I love Michonne. She was one of my favorites. And it also taught me that if there's ever a zombie apocalypse, that I desperately need a good sword, which is part of the reason I've got my Master Sword right here from Zelda Ocarina of Time, just in case there is a zombie apocalypse. I'm ready to go. Although the thing's fucking heavy, so I'm like, I'd get through about 3 zombies and be too tired to carry the rest of it. So that's why I've been working out. You know what I'm saying? But what about you, Mr. Dave? Did you ever play these games? Is this something you'd be interested in collecting, or just objectively cool looking figure? Not for you. Where did you?
I know nothing about this game. I just love how Adam keeps saying the Daryl Dixon show, and I want to pitch a Dick Van Dyke opening for that show.
Yep.
Where he walks in the room and he trips over oh my gosh, I'm over here dying thinking about that. Just the ridiculousness of that. But like, this dude looks cool. I'm wondering why he has Mo from the Three Stooges hanging off of his belt. And like, I haven't cared enough to really look it up. Like, I heard it's like some kind of ventriloquist doll or something. I think somebody said, like a marionette or something. I don't know. And he's got like a baby in the gas can there, or some such. I don't know what the hell's going on with this guy, but he's interesting, and he's a cool looking figure. The base is neat. I don't know what the deal is with that base, what the importance of that is, but it looks really cool. It looks like if you started like bumping some heavy, like, the bass, it would start like, like it. I think it's a cool looking figure. I don't know nothing about it. It's not a thing I'm gonna buy, but it's pretty cool. Wasn't he in Cyberpunk as well?
No, that was Keanu Reeves.
I know Keanu was there, but I could have sworn, and maybe I saw like footage from this and thought that was that. I don't know.
Maybe he was. I haven't beat the whole Cyberpunk game yet, so it's very possible he's in there. I just don't know yet. But spoiler alert! God, I hate to see it.
Either way, he looks cool.
Just kidding. Dave, what do you think about these collectible like metal cards lately with the display case? I haven't had a chance to ask you about those. Is that something?
I think they're trying something. Like they're trying to do a thing, do something that's a little bit different and out of the norm, and they tried it with the coins, and I don't know that it's really a big selling point for anybody. Like, it's more of a Marvel Legends kind of thing where you have like the card in the back of or like a McFarlane where they have the card of the figure with the read up.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm sure there's some people out there who really love it. I don't think it really makes that big a difference one way or the other, honestly.
That's fair. I'm kind of in the same boat. I haven't decided if I like it. Our buddy Zach at Collecting Weekly has said that he thinks that the Labubu craze, if you guys know anything about these Labubus lately, are
boy.
creating maybe some of that as well, because I guess they come with some collectible cards. I don't
Oh,
have any,
they
so
do.
I don't know what I'm talking about, but apparently that's a huge
They
collectible
do.
craze right now for people, and I'm like, okay, I mean, maybe they're seeing that and they're taking a bite out of it to a
That
certain
I did
extent.
research. That's insane.
Yeah.
Labubu
Oh my
is
god.
insane.
It is insane.
Wow.
Stone Capybara says, I pre-ordered Hot Toys Netflix One Piece Luffy, but it seems to have been delayed nearly a year. Store said Q4 2024. Yeah, that does suck, dude. But I did see, maybe if you've had a chance to see it as well, they look like they were actually updating it. So like that could be a possibility, right? They had done one of those, like, this is our original sculpt and we are working on it, and then they showed kind of an updated version, which some people said looked better, some people said looked worse. Ash Chase says a bow would work 100 times better, but you have to be able to shoot a bow accurately. My luck, I'd be like stringing them up and just missing entirely, and then be totally screwed. Like I just watched the new zombie flick, 28 Years Later, and I thought that they got way too many headshots with the bows. Like I was like, man, these guys are amazing with the bow. I would be missing all over the place. I would rather take my chances swinging a badass sword. You're not wrong. Fair. That's fair. They've had time to practice, I guess.
How was that movie?
I liked it more than I expected. I will say I definitely liked it more than I expected. It would probably be like a 7.5 out of 8 or 8 out of 10, like somewhere in that range. Like I enjoyed it. I think for me, there were some aspects of the film that I would have changed. I don't want to spoil it in case people haven't seen it yet, but I would say if you like the 28 Years or 28 Days franchise, you'd probably still enjoy it. It's cool to see kind of the evolution, what's happened after all that many years. I'd love to see what, like, more from it. Like I'd love to see like what could continue on, but I don't know what they'd call it because I don't know how they'd keep the name going, right? Like they should have given 28 days, 28 months, 28 or whatever. No, sorry, 28 weeks, 28 months, 28 years. So just they could have opened up another opportunity. But there were some parts of it that were also a little silly. So I would say it's a light recommendation, or like a strong rent. Death Stranding figure is absolutely insane. Absolutely. Labubu's the spreading evil you cannot stop. 100%. Let's talk a little bit about Robocane here from Robocop 2. Here, I'm going to pull this up really quickly because this is what Shane shared with me. So this is an elastic violin player, plays Born to Be Wild in the movie Robocop 2, and I'm going to keep it muted. But can you guys see this? This is in Robocop 2. And I did not remember any of this at all.
I remember this. Yeah, jeez.
Yeah. He's literally playing the violin around his ass for some reason. And it's Born to Be Wild, the song. It like what? I do not remember any of this. That is the craziest shit I've ever seen. So goes to show you that sometimes your recollection of a film versus what you see in toy format does not necessarily align. I also made a mistake in my preview video because I was misremembering this. I thought that the bad guy, Kane, was the bad guy from the first film, like the Red Foreman, villain. I can't remember his name, but not the same character. When I rewatched it, I was like, oh wait, Kane was actually just a villainous, like, drug addict, basically, who dies and gets put into this machine. Hence, of course, the Robocop holding his brain at one of the scenes as well. So the fight scene at the end was pretty cool. But Robocane, I never expected to ever see this character, if I'm being fully honest. Diecast, I think my biggest criticism with diecast ever is just, I wish that they would show on the figure how it's mapped out, right? How much of the figure is diecast? Where are those components? Likely in the joints, stuff like that. If you can balance a Robocop on its back like this, that's pretty cool. It makes the Robocop actually look really small. And his legs look a little janky in this picture, in a weird way. Like he's got like a very big upper body. So I have a feeling, despite the large footprint, there's a good chance you're going to have this guy in a base, if you're considering bringing it into the collection. But Robocane is pretty cool in terms of everything it comes with. It's got the light up display. I also thought, based on the way that they described this figure, that the remote control was included in it, and I thought that would mean that it was a remote controlled figure. It doesn't sound like that's the case. It's actually just an accessory of the character. So I was also wrong about that. So do your homework, I think, is my lesson that I take away from this. But before we talk about Robocop, Mr. Adam, what are your thoughts here on a Robocane?
Yeah, I mean, this was not on my bingo card for 2025 for Hot Toys. I think I applaud them for going deep into this. Is a deep cut. So I give them credit for doing that. And I have the Robocop 3 figure, which looks like to me Robocop and Robocop 1. I love the first Robocop movie.
Especially
Great
since
movie.
it's clearly got Peter Weller mouth plates.
Yeah.
Very, very obviously. Yeah.
And that's why I picked it up. And now that was a figure that I think they didn't produce a lot of. I got mine on the aftermarket because it sold out on Sideshow. So this is a lot of demand for this figure. The other thing that's nice about this new Robocop figure is you have the alternate Peter Weller head sculpt where you can take off his helmet. And I think that's a good option because in the initial Hot Toys version, you had to there was one version with the if I recall, with the Peter Weller head sculpt, and then the second version with the masked helmeted version. So you can have both options on this. To me, I like the first Robocop. I love the first Robocop. I didn't really care for to me, I didn't really like it so much that I've actually forgot the whole movie. I saw it in the theater when it came out, and I just wasn't really into it. And I haven't liked the sequels. I'm not even sure. I think I saw the third one.
The new representations, the new ones, or like the.
I saw RoboCop 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
I don't think I've seen any ones. I didn't see the one with Rick Flag, the actor from that, where he's I didn't see the reboot.
I didn't love it. I didn't again, it's one of those, if it was on TV on a Sunday afternoon and I was doing other shit, I might put it on the background. It wasn't one that I thought was amazing. One of the things that stood out to me on this one, I think most, is I love the coloration of the suit itself. I love that bluey purple that comes out of it. Although I will say that even in my current display lighting, my Robocop 3 representation, which does feel very much like a Robocop 1 version, if I'm being honest, because of the Peter Weller mouth plates and everything, especially if I don't leave, because I never put the jetpack on it. That's always stayed in the box, which feels like such a waste of plastic, if I'm being honest. But it still really felt like it represents Robocop for me. I don't actually feel like I need this one, even though I love the fact that they've given us battle damage swap out pieces, like you said, the Peter Weller face over the Robo head. That looks really crazy and definitely looks like him. Adam, before I go to Dave, what do you think about these mouth plates? Do you think this looks like Peter Weller? Because that's also been a pretty hot debate amongst collectors, that some people say it doesn't look like him at all, and some people say, I can see it. I think this is a great photo of the battle because I see it more in what they were trying to do, I think, with these mouth plates.
I think less so than the RoboCop 3 version. The RoboCop 3 version looks like RoboCop 1. I think this not so much.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Before I go to you, Dave, I want to bring another special guest into the show here. He saw that I took his Superman photos and put them on the show sheet, and he was like, I must be there to say hello to you guys. We got Mr. Philly, Figurecraft, here in the house with us. Good to see you, buddy. It's been a long time.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I have a brand new setup, and also it looks like StreamYard revamped their whole setup, too, as well. So
yes,
can you hear me?
I hate it. Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Hey, Philly.
Awesome.
Look at those Batmobiles floating in the back
there.
God.
So yeah, you're getting a sneak peek of the new collection video tour coming up soon. I'm just got done this. I was trying to hopefully get it done before San Diego Comic-Con, but I still got a little more stuff to do. So, but once that's done, I see this collection video coming out probably in the next couple of weeks.
Man, those spinning Batmobiles
out here stunting on everybody, man.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
You're getting ready to fight
I was
crime.
I was able to put two garage shelves together, and now I have like a 4x4 foot circumference. So you're able to have the 89 spin. And let me tell you one thing though, it barely fit. So it took me forever to find that center point. It took me like at least an hour to find that center point because it barely fits in there. So if I move it 1 inch to the left, 1 inch to the right, it's gonna hit, and it's not gonna rotate. So
it's such a good way to look at it though, right? The vehicle itself, because every angle you look at that thing in is beautiful. And so it's like, if you just have it prone, you only get a chance to see it at one angle all the time. Seeing it be able to kind of go around like that and have the lighting bouncing off of it, that's pretty dope, dude. That's awesome.
Right.
Man,
yeah.
awesome.
Well, thanks for having me. What's that?
Always, man.
I wish I had that kind of space. I want to do exactly that, but
here's the funny part is the funny part is Dave is like, I don't have that kind of space. You make the space. so
Make the there you go, guys.
Whatever,
Words
guy.
words to live by. Words to live by. You make the space, Dave. Okay. There you go.
So,
I
yeah,
like
thanks
couch.
for having me. And it looks like
Of
you guys
course,
already talked about a great deal, but I was around San Diego Comic-Con, so if you have any questions, feel free. I have a lot of knowledge I acquired, and that's why I wanted to kind of participate to see if you have any additional questions you have for
Hell
anything
yeah.
that happened in the event. So
Hell yeah, guys, put your comments in the chat for Philly here. If you have any questions on what he might have seen at Sdcc 2025, put them in the chat. We will address those here. We'll finish our take on Robocop and Robocane, and then we'll answer some questions. That's amazing. Thanks for being here, buddy. Always great to see you, man. It's always great to see you.
thank you for having me.
Dave, what are your thoughts here on Robocane and Robocop 2? I thought this was cool how they basically gave us an entire movie display in one foul swoop. Like, you could get literally the battle scene from the movie. That's pretty cool. What are your thoughts on these?
I forgot Kane existed until this figure came out. And I was like, oh yeah, that's that guy.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool how they got his pole going up his gooch there. But yeah, man, it's a pretty cool looking figure. I don't remember too much.
I almost spit my protein shake onto the keyboard. I did not expect you to go there. Jesus.
I
love it.
I don't remember too much about him in the movie. I remember he was a bad dude and he had a brain and they fed him drugs through the little.
That's
thing.
why he was addicted to the nuke. He's addicted to the nuke drug. Yeah.
And I think he was stop motion in the film, or at least for part of it. I think.
Probably. Yeah, I'm sure.
I have this vague recollection of him moving jankily.
Really jankily, yeah.
but he looks really cool. That'd be pretty neat to see on the shelf. I like how big he is.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big dude right there. That's always cool to see a massive figure that, you know, he just takes the presence because of his size. That's pretty cool. Robocop looks cool. Yeah, I think it's weird that they split up accessories, like how the nuke canister comes with Robocop, is what I'm seeing, but it's not with Kane, which is okay, I guess. But they really want you to buy that Robocop, so you know, yeah.
What do you think of a $525 price point though for Robocane and a $300 price point for Robocop? So you're looking at $825 before taxes, shipping, you know, what's it called, tariffs if there's any. Like, that's a price investment right there. That's wild.
Yeah, well, you know, you gotta pay to get in, right? Like it's I think because they did a lot of stuff here, like they're not gonna reuse a lot of these parts, I imagine. Because
I can't imagine.
how are you know? Unless
100%.
there's like other like things that use similar things that, you know, they can get away with it, sure. But like, what are the odds that they're going to be able to reuse any of these parts on Kane? So I kind of get it with that.
It's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, like Robocop, you know, it's another Robocop, and you could argue reuse. And I'm sure it's all reuse on him for the most part. So maybe he shouldn't be so expensive, but people are going to pay it, so that's what it is.
That's fair. I feel like, again, it's one of those things. If you love the character or you just think it's a badass display, you will find the way. Like, that's, like you said, you gotta pay for the ticket to get in. I think that makes sense. There are characters who I've paid through the nose for that I don't even like. I don't even want to admit, right? Like, the first time I tried to get a DX11 Joker before all of these Artisans and all these other options have come out, I paid $1,100 to get that thing in the door because I wanted Heath Ledger's Joker, and that was the best option I could get at the time. Well, like you mentioned here, great point. There's not a lot of reuse likely here, and like unless they give us a different variant of Robocane and just paint it differently or something, like, which I don't know if they could do. Like, this is kind of a one and done, which then puts this into a Grail status style of character, and especially if you like mechanized characters, like robot style figures. This thing is wild. So. Great points there, Dave. Great points. Philly, what do you think about Robocop 2 here? Robocane, again, $825 if you want both. Like, that's a steep number, but is it worth it?
Yeah, I think it's about time. Not a lot of people know this, but if you check your Facebook Messenger, I sent you a picture. I don't know if you even
Check it out.
anyone knew this, but Robocane, he was actually a prototype from back in 2012. They did have plans to making this figure. It just never got to fruition and to production. But they did have, back in the day, Hot Toys used to do these snapshots, and it would be kind of like they call it backstage, behind the scenes, and they would show what figures they kind of work on and kind of give you a little sneak peek and kind of a few Easter eggs. And there you go. There's a figure. And yeah, they did this back in 2012. And they've been working on it since, but I don't think they ever felt like they need to do it until now, which they're digging into that well very, very deep. So, which is a good thing for us because I really wanted this figure. I'm a big Robocop fan. I'm glad also that the new Robocop has the Alex Murphy head sculpt because I've been wanting to get the battle damage, so I don't need to get the battle damage anymore because it comes with this one. And I used to own the battle damage, but unfortunately I sold it, so now I want it back. But that head sculpt from Alex Murphy, it's just beautiful. And with the new apps they're gonna put in there, I think it's gonna be even better. So I'm definitely getting these two figures for sure. So
do you see Peter Weller in these mouth plates? Again, that's been a bit of a hot debate with people. Some say it looks like him, and I think it looks enough like him, but I think they're going for this expressive look versus the more like pouty look that he normally kind of rocks.
I think that we just have him so recorded in our minds just from Robocop 1, and he has certain expressions Robocop 1, and yeah, they look a little different. When we saw these, I think I was telling Shane that it almost looked like it was a render from the Rogue City video game because they look so refreshed, so clean. But I'm not, I think I'm looking at it. It's Robocop. I'm happy with it, and it's a little different. They could have just given us the same faceplates, It's good to have something different. So I'm good with those. They look great. With
the different in color on the outfits, do you think, like, unless you're a huge Robocop fan, do you think there's ever a recommendation to buy one or the other? Like, do you think this is the more iconic look than the Robocop 3 version that we got? Adam and I kind of felt like the Robocop 3 figure, if you took the jetpack off, kind of looks like the Robocop 1, so you can kind of futz that into your brain. Do you need multiple colors of robots in your collection to really fill it out? What are your thoughts on that?
For a super fan, hell yeah, bring them all. Bring the black version from the TV show. I don't care. But for a simple casual eye fan, I think, either or. I mean, the blue with the blue purple hues is definitely more Robocop, but there is a difference between Robocop 1 and Robocop 2. So it just depends on what movie you want to represent for, or even Robocop 3. If you want to do Robocop 1, it was less of a hue, and then Robocop 2 was more of a bluish color. So it just depends.
Hell yeah, dude. Absolutely. Well said. And to the 70 people watching, it's good to see you guys.
It's good to see you.
Thanks for being here and getting us with us on Sunday. We have a couple more topics that I still want to go through. We're going to talk a little bit about Joker, Artisan Joker. We're also going to talk about the Michael Jackson figure from InArt. But before we do, did anybody have any questions for Philly with regards to Sdcc 2025? And while you guys have a minute to put your question in the chat here, Philly, what was the highlight for you of the show, man? What nailed it for you this year?
The same. I believe you also had a good eye on a movie that you recently saw that you absolutely enjoy, and I think I remember me giving you a hard time when I first met you that you haven't seen that movie, and you saw it. So The Crow was a show stealer for me, and Costic Plastic. I am a big Brendan Lee fan, and I was hoping somebody would tackle that challenge because it was the 30th anniversary. The movie came out in 1994, so 2024 was the 30th anniversary. So nobody, yeah, I know, right? And it's like for a movie that you remember the smell, the acoustics, the feeling of the cinema of the theater when you first saw it. I was 14 at the time, and I remember the whole entire soundtrack. And I've been, I'm a big fan of every little detail. It's a cult classic, and so that one's definitely stole the show. And I was talking with Fabio, who's the art director and in charge of Costic Plastic, and him and I share the passion for The Crow because we both, he loves what he does, and he's, I told him he calls his stuff Maestro, which is a beautiful name because it is a lot of authentic, genuine leather, the routing and a lot of details in there that you can't get really much anywhere unless you have to pay a premium, and this is all included part of that. But yeah, I was telling him that the Crow is just I'm glad he did it. He was my hero. It was the first figure I went to, and that's what it was. And there's still a little debate on the likeness a little bit. But I think it's perfect, and it's better than any iteration we've gotten. He did say it's at final stages. It is a prototype, so there might be a few changes afterwards. But I'm looking forward to this. This is definitely a dopo for me on first day. So,
did you talk about like getting likeness rights for Brandon Lee or anything like that? Like what that process looks like, or anything along
we didn't talk about it, but there was I know somebody. I can't remember if it was on YouTube or Instagram. Did ask a question, but this has to do with Conan. It was about how for Van Damme he sold the body separately, and they're asking if they're going to have the same thing for Arnold and his body, and unfortunately they said no. So, but I think it's a great idea what they did with the extra bodies. But in regards to you see, like it's more. His body is more iconic, and I think, unfortunately, you have to pay a premium for the likeness of the body. But unfortunately, they're not selling the extra bodies for the Arnold. That was one of the questions I wanted to address, which I had for the last couple of days. But other than that, no.
Like to put it in with like a Terminator or like the nude scene when he comes out of the portal, and
I think that would be cool, but maybe down the line. But he says there will be another iteration of a different Conan. I think the one with the war paint. Because it is an investment they put in the body. Same with the Goblin King. They're gonna because there's different outfits for him, I believe. I'm not. A funny story is I've never seen this movie. I plan to see it because I think that figure is really cool. But all this time I was calling it Pan's Labyrinth, and he was like, "Oh no, you mean Labyrinth?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Pan's Labyrinth." And I'm like,
"Very different film." That's a very different film.
Yeah, he kind of like just roll with the punches, and he's like, "Yeah, you mean Labyrinth?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Oh, right." I didn't realize till afterwards that I was calling the wrong new movie.
He's like, "Get this guy out of here! Get this guy out of here!" He doesn't know what he's talking about. You hate to see it.
I know.
That's fair. I said to Dave earlier that I only watched Labyrinth for the first time about a year ago, and I thought it was a good movie. I didn't see why people love it as much as they do. But then Dave's like, "Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies of all time." I'm like, God. Damn it, I've insulted the man. You hate to see it. He's never coming back. He's never coming back. Ryan Dean says, "Hey, Philly, any insight on additional accessories for the Crow?" I think KP said something like an insane amount of accessories, hoping this definitely includes his guitar. Did he comment on that at all for you, bud?
Yes. What you see is not final, but he did talk about doing extension of the diorama base there. And also the accessories. Yeah, it's gonna come. What you saw in there, it's not final. So there will be additional things. I was really impressed with the hands because they have that. You see that. I know they're not really accessories. It's hands come with every figure, but. Detail on the hands, and when he's walking with like that pose when he's walking into the church, I think that caught my attention from the hands, how much detailed and they look so realistic. But in regards to for the accessories, he will be adding all those accessories. I believe he said, if I remember, he did say the guitar and also a crow with one with wings closed and wings open. So just wait, you'll see a lot more stuff, and especially the diorama base, because he's big on diorama bases. That's definitely gonna improve. Besides that, I believe you saw the tombstone of Shelley Webster and Eric Raven.
Yes,
I think he's gonna add on to that.
That was cool.
Like
that was cool.
I'll say that I have the Rocky underdog figure, which Costic Plastic does, and that the magnets on the
they're strong.
They are very strong. They are great. And
I have the John Wayne True Grit one, and they're strong. Yeah.
Did he talk about any upcoming Rocky figures that are coming?
Rocky, no, but there is one IP that he was talking about that was already discussed, I believe, in Mafia. Shout out to Mafia stream. Mafia 16 Mafia. They were talking about horror film that has, a weird ghoul. I don't want to say the name, but it involves somebody being possessed in a bed and their heads turn 360. So that's
Exorcist.
Okay.
All right.
Exorcist,
that's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would need that though. I don't know if I would need
I
that.
know, but I'm curious
right?
to see
It's
what
cool,
they come
but-
up with. I'm definitely curious to see what they come up with. So
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let me see make sure I didn't miss any. Oh, Jose Plus says here, asked Fabio if we could do a JCVD from Lionheart and Time Cop, and he said maybe. Jean-Claude Van Damme, I assume.
yeah, Jose
and
Plus
then-
was with me. We're pitching to Fabio like in the afternoon on Saturday. So
Hell yeah.
A-
Ryan says
any other
thanks for the info,
Schwarzenegger
by the way.
films, did he say? Besides Conan?
Ooh, yeah.
what's that?
Any other Schwarzenegger films that he's working on a figure for besides Conan?
No, good question. No, I didn't ask him that, and I think they're still working on the Conan. And think when they come up with a couple more figures for Conan, I believe somebody did ask me for additional figures. I believe he's trying to get a certain baddie from that film that was an iconic, in a different franchise that was from the Stars. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yes.
Okay, I hate to speak in crypto, but you know what I mean.
Mr. Jones.
Exactly.
James Earl
exactly.
Jones,
He
yeah.
is trying to work on that one, and I think that was really cool. All I remember is that scene in the movie where at the end where spoiler alert, he gets a little kind of Arnie goes chopping wood and his head just rolls down the stairs. For a kid that
Yes.
was like what 4 or 5 years old, I'm like, oh my god,
Terrifying.
what just happened? Yeah,
It's
right.
terrifying.
Yeah,
Well,
I
this
guess
is
that'd
my-
be cool. Conan.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I was going to say, this is my sideshow variant of the Crow. And again, while the sculpt likeness isn't perfect to Brandon Lee, I do think like this does definitely feel great in the display, and it really, really represented him really well. The outfit was great. I didn't like the coat, so I took the coat off, obviously. But even just having his hands out like that with the bloodied hole in there and everything, it's a powerful look, and it's one of the figures that gets my attention every time I come into the collection, seeing him in here with it. So I to answer somebody's question, I can't remember who asked it, but I definitely think I am going to go in on the Costic plastic one and upgrade, because I really loved the Crow. It's become one of my favorite movies. I've watched it now a couple times. I bought it on 4K. I went hard on it. So L Walker in the chat says, "What's up, man? Good to see you, buddy."
Sorry, I was gonna say shout out to Tim Harvey. He's the controller for the Costic Plastic Facebook group, and he did say yes, there is another Schwarzenegger property that they're working on, but they haven't announced it yet. So that's awesome. Thanks, Tim. And Tim is awesome. He's a great moderator, and he kind of hooked me up with Fabio when I was over
Red
there.
Sonja.
It's a Deck the Halls figure, or
Jingle all the way.
Jingle all the way is the one. That's what I meant. Yeah, that's right. Deck the Halls. What was that one? That was
Jingle all the
Master
way.
Broderick, I think, right? Jingle all the way. Turbo Man. We love to see it, guys. Let's talk a little bit about this bank robber Joker. So I know a lot of us have felt kind of fatigued of talking about Jokers over the last couple of years, and I think a lot of us started to feel like, hey, you know what? We finally got through them. I think nobody else is going to make anything again. And this is, I think, now the fourth, if I'm not mistaken, bank robber Joker from Hot Toys, which is pretty crazy. Oh, we got a cute one in the channel. Hello.
Hello.
That's awesome. It's interesting to me that they've done this, because I talked to my buddy Dean, the Dream Martin, the other day. And one of the things that I said was, I think this is now the best likeness to Heath Ledger Joker that I've seen from Hot Toys. I honestly think it's the best one. And he was like, oh man, I'm so sick of people saying that this Joker is better than the last Joker and all the things. And I'm like, but legitimately, I do feel like it's a better likeness. And of course, we can get the Artisan option. This does come with a masked head sculpt, so you don't have to worry about putting the mask over top of the hair and messing all the hair up or anything like that, which I think is great. Or, of course, if you don't like rooted hair or glued hair, you can look at the sculpted option. And I also think that the sculpted hair looks really freaking good. But I'm like, even for me, as big of a Joker fan as I am, I don't know if I need this, if I'm being 100% honest. I don't know if I need it. I'm trying to talk myself out of it. Part of me wants to get it so that I can honestly keep the mask sculpt on and use the face of Heath to upgrade my DX11 that I have sitting at like at the table, basically. Even though it wouldn't be perfect, I think it's a pretty great likeness. But Adam, I'll go to you, buddy. What was your thoughts on seeing another Artisan as well as sculpted option of Heath Ledger's Joker come back around?
I think every 1/6 stream should have a weekly segment
Weekly
called
Joker segment.
the Joker segment, and we all discuss Joker because it's like it's every week there's a different Joker introduced or one's about to be released. And I understand because Heath Ledger's performance was one for the ages. And I mean, without a doubt, Dark Knight, one of the maybe the greatest comic book film of all time. And his Academy Award winning performance was mesmerizing. I think this is people have been looking for a 2.0 of this. I think the original one was released a few years back. So there's definitely a market for this. They want to keep producing them. I have the InArt 2-pack, and I'm happy with that. So I'm kind of 2 and done. This is not for me, but I can see why there's going to be a big market for it. I guess if I had a lot more space that I wanted to devote, and I have a lot of the Dark Knight trilogy figures, but I don't feel like I need a third Joker. But yeah, I think it's an iconic scene, of course, in the intro to the film.
Absolutely. And what do you say with regards to the likeness? Do you think this looks more like Heath than the other options, or do you not have the eye for it? What are your how do you feel about that?
I don't really have the eye for it. I mean, it looks like him.
Definitely.
I don't, I can understand why you'd want to pose, particularly the Artisan version, with the bank robber mask, holding it in his hand. But why would you invest all your money into this and then put the mask on? That's not be something I would do.
That's what I mean. I think you'd almost have to have the plan of having the mask on and then using this head sculpt for another character. Like, for example, while I loved the InArt for when I got it, I still think they don't nail it for Heath 100%. I think this might actually be better than the InArt likeness. And so I might use one of these to even replace that if I get it. And as I said, keep the mask on. But I also have a custom head sculpt coming sometime in the next couple of months here from John Chu, I believe is his name, on Instagram. And it is the craziest Heath Ledger likeness I've ever seen in figure format. So I think once I have that sculpt in my collection, I don't think it'll top it for me to go another direction. So I think I got to talk myself out of this. Philly, do you have to talk yourself out of this? Obviously, you're a huge Batman fan. Is this one that is coming home, or you're trying to talk yourself out of?
It's funny. Of all the Joker figures I've owned, I've never purchased this version, and I think this is the 4th or 5th iteration, and they sold me on it. So I'm definitely gonna jump on this. But I was also thinking the same thing you were thinking with the InArt, so that might be a possibility as well. So it's like, kindred spirits think alike. So
yeah, for sure. Well, because I've always traditionally had the InArt sculpt looking at the ground, like face. So because then from here kind of down, like when he's tilting his head, that's when I see it come out of that figure the most. But as soon as I bring the face up and you can see him directly on, it loses the likeness for me. And so I've kind of wanted to swap those sculpts out. And as I said, I'm going to use my custom as a way to swap out one of them. This one might swap out the second, but it just hurts my soul that I paid like $1,200 for that InArt set to then still swap out the head sculpts within only a handful of years, really, which is crazy. Dave, I know Joker puts you to sleep, but how do you feel about a bank robber Joker? As soon as Adam started talking earlier, I saw Dave start to nod off. I'm like, he does have a sultry voice. I can see it. So
it is very soothing.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this one, buddy?
Wait till I read the newspaper to you.
break out the yellow pages.
That's right.
Friggin' in the comics, we had the 3 Jokers, and now it's like we got the 42 Jokers. He looks like the Joker. Yeah, good, you did it. Way to go.
Yay.
I don't mind. It's a good figure, and I think this one needed an upgrade.
Yeah.
So great. Um, I don't. I don't feel quite like Dean did. I want to see a nurse Joker. That's the one I want to see. Like, why haven't they made that one? Like, they made like did no one made that one, right? There was a third party, wasn't there?
I don't know if there was a third party, but nobody's been able to make that licensed.
Like,
And
we've made this one several times.
Well, that's it, because the speculation was that the WB license is unwilling to do the Nurse Joker out of respect for the estate. That's what I've heard, but I'm not sure why it would be disrespectful to the state, if I'm being honest. So, like, or to the estate. So I'm not entirely sure if that's accurate.
That's
or not.
so dumb. Like, we have so many of this one. We have so many more of the other one. That's a beautiful sculpt.
This is the one that I've got coming.
That looks
like,
so
wow.
good.
This is the final sample too. So this is coming. I'm like, oh my god, I just love it. I love it so much. I love it so much.
Christ on a
it's
biscuit.
crazy.
That's such a good friggin' sculpt. It looks
Right?
exactly like him. That's the thing. They hang it up.
Does
This
it
is
have articulated eyes, or is it just kind of like that?
Just prone eyes, no articulated eyes. But
It still sells the particular
Still sells it, right?
expression that you're trying to do. So that's
Yeah,
amazing.
it looks so good.
yeah,
That's
I'm excited. But
him. We don't need it.
Yeah.
We don't need anything else.
So
That's it.
that's what I mean.
Right.
I don't know if I'll need another option if that's the case, because I still think this looks great. This just looks like a different scene, and every scene I've studied, Dave, of the Joker, he kind of looks like every version of figures we've gotten. If I'm being honest, like you could find a scene where the in art looks great. You can find a scene where the Hot Toys one Artisan looks great. You can find a scene obviously where this one looks great. Like they do. He changes his look a little bit throughout the film, and you can see them all. But yeah, no, not for you, Dave.
Nah, not for me. I don't have any Dark Knight figures at all. And I had the most recent Purple's coat Joker from Hot Toys. I had the sculpted on order, but like decisions had to be made. And it's like I don't have any others. Like, although I will say in the future I may find myself picking one up because he is the final part of a 3-part display that I've wanted to do for a while.
Mm-hmm.
With a couple of other figures. So I may still get him in the purple coat because I do like him a lot. But we'll see. There are plenty to choose from. So maybe I can find one at a good price somewhere at some point. We'll see what happens.
In search of ISO. In search of a good price. Diggy Haas says, I don't have Joker yet. You think this would be a good starter? I guess it depends on your preference. I do think this is a great starter, but when I close my eyes and think about the Joker, he's definitely in the purple coat. I think that is still his most iconic look. So if you were only going to do one Joker for your collection display, I think I would still personally be tempted to go after maybe the sculpted Hot Toys purple coated Joker that we'd gotten recently, because I thought that sculpted hair looked great on that figure, especially if you can't find an artisan. It just depends on if you like hair, rooted hair, or sculpted hair. But I don't think that purple coated Joker was a slouch. If you love the start of the film, however, of The Dark Knight, and of course seeing this look, then it's a great option. So that's a hard one to say for you, my friend, because as I said, if you're only planning on getting one Joker, I still think purple coat is the way to go. But this is a cool figure, and nobody's gonna stick their nose up and seeing this in the display, because they're still gonna be like, holy crap, that looks like Heath Ledger in your display. So which is pretty cool. Ronnie says, buy a nurse outfit and stick him in it, problem solved. Yeah, but then you'd have to get you'd have to get a custom dent patch, and like there's some other things that I'd want to see done.
If you get a red wig
outside
for him.
of just get the right wig for him. He also, unfortunately, Hot Toys and In Art didn't give us like a laughing or smirking sculpt very well. Like they had the open mouth.
Time.
They had the open mouth, but like the DX11 was the only one in from my recollection that had like a laughing sculpt at least. And it's like he's the Joker. Like that is the sculpt that needs to be, kind of maniacal. But like I can see him like, his kind of grin that he has with Harvey Dent in that scene, or like his face when he's blowing up the hospital. Like they haven't nailed that yet. So there's still more that they could technically do with the Joker, I guess. So, and the Joker, like this, he's always going to be one of my favorite movie villains of all time, if not my favorite. So it's weird to me to not want to buy every representation that exists. But on the other hand, we talked about it earlier, right? Like Philly said, you got to make the space, but sometimes you can only make so much space. And with so many great things coming lately, it's honestly, it's kind of hard to like justify having multiples of the same character. If anything, I need to start dialing it back a little bit and condensing my display down to what I feel like is my definitive representation of the character, as opposed to having every look, because you'll just bury yourself in figures if that's the case.
There's a fine little asterisk when I say make the space. There's a fine little asterisk, and it says it's not applicable at all situations. So
is not applicable in all exactly. Now, talking about making some space here, obviously InArt is coming back around here with their Smooth Criminal representation of Michael Jackson, and god damn does that look like Michael Jackson. Like, wow, that is crazy. It says the pre-order start time on this figure is July 29th, and estimated shipping Q2 of 2026, somewhere kind of middle of next year. Their other Michael Jackson that they'd put out looks also phenomenal. Obviously, it kind of depends on your favorite look for Michael Jackson, I think. There's this one pose here that I think is hilarious, because, obviously Michael Jackson... Sorry, I should say InArt has had some leaning issues with their figures. So now, with the magnetic base, it's going to look purposeful when this guy's leaning up against your glass in your display. But I think this looks pretty freaking awesome, if I'm being honest. I am not a big... Maybe this is going to be sacrilegious for some, but I am not a big enough Michael Jackson fan in order to take up a slot with him. I like some of his music, but for me, like, it just never struck the same chord. If anything, I'd rather have... I'd rather have a Prince figure. I like Prince music. I'd rather have a Freddie Mercury from Queen. Like, there's other musicians that I think I would rather have in my display. But he's still the king of pop, let's be honest. And so Michael Jackson's
have you seen the whole video? This video, like, because it's not just a video; it's like a little mini movie. You've seen this, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
is it on this
website? I saw it when it aired on MTV.
Watch it, and maybe you might change your mind about getting this figure. When you have to watch it, it's a whole mini movie
of Michael Jackson or of the figure.
Moonwalker.
No,
it's called Moonwalker.
Yeah.
Moonwalker.
It's the music video for this outfit.
Oh, I see.
The music video for this outfit is part of Moonwalker, but it's also its own little thing too. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and the dancing, the production, the acting. I mean, you even have, spoiler alert, not Danny DeVito, Joe Pesci there as a bad guy, and
Joe Pesci is there.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. Really? So take the time to watch it. I think it'd be really cool to see it, and then you might change your mind about getting this figure, because it's like Michael Jackson's cool factor up there with Billie Jean and Thriller. Okay. And yeah, so definitely check it out. But I'm surprised a lot of people haven't seen that video, and there is a short version of it, but there is also the long full cut version. You want to see the long version of it because it has all the the acting and the scenes before and afterwards. So
I'll check that out. So while we're with you, then, Philly, what do you think about this figure? Is this one you're going to get then, if that stands out to you?
Yes, this is the one I've been waiting for. This and Billie Jean,
nice.
or Thriller. But actually, I have the third party that came out not too long ago. I can't remember what company. It's like, this is more up there. Like, it looks much better. The likeness looks great. I was at the InArt event this weekend, and I asked John if I was curious to see if they're using the same sculpt, but it's a totally different sculpt from what they had from the previous one.
It is a different sculpt. Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, and
because Clinton was thinking that it's a reused sculpt. He was saying. So
no,
that's interesting.
He confirmed it's a different face sculpt, even though it looks similar, but it is a different sculpt.
It needs to look like him, I guess, right? At the end of the day, I've always thought that was funny when people are like, "Oh, it looks like the last sculpt." It's like, okay, well, did the last one look like Michael Jackson? Because then that's a good thing. But expression is a difference. I get it, but it's funny.
But it's also
not a lot of accessories with this.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're trying to keep the price down, or he did mention saying that if there's enough pre-orders, they might up the accessories, or but also when it comes, this goes back to watching the whole entire video. If you see this, there's a scene with him in the jukebox and the microphone and a bunch of backup dancers, and that's like a backdrop, similar style to like the Joker movie, how the Hot Toys Joker, backdrop with the lighting, and it's kind of like a stage. It's similar to that, but I'm sure some third company will jump on that situation and create that kind of like they did how they did the lighting on the previous one. So, but yeah, this looks cool. I mean, this is the one of the ones I've been waiting for. So I'm all over this for sure.
Absolutely. What about you, Adam? Is this like Michael Jackson? Like, did this hit for you when you were younger? Is this a person or a character you'd want to collect? Not character, but like yeah, I guess person is a better way to say it.
He was a character, right?
He's definitely a character. Yeah.
Well, the first tape I ever got, not CD, tape, was Michael Jackson's Thriller in 1983, and then I got the Bad album. So this is back when I was like fourth grade, and he was the biggest at that time. He was in some respects, he still is in death, but he was definitely the biggest star in the world. And I remember fondly doing the moonwalk with my friends down the hallway in our elementary school. So I still love the music from that era, from the Thriller album, from Bad. But I don't see myself ever getting a Michael Jackson figure, because he had that. He got a little weird, and in my view, and he's got some personal issues that I just can never put him on my shelf.
That's fair.
But
That's fair.
I understand people can separate that, and still love his musical career. I have a hard time doing that.
I think the thing for me is I don't know enough about the story to necessarily feel like I've got an informed enough opinion. So it's like, for some, it would be a big deal because it's like, oh, haven't you heard all these rumors? Some people would say, well, no, like that's been debunked. It's, it was fine, right? Like I think it was what actor Macaulay Culkin said. He was always safe when he was there and all these things. So it's like, it's hard to know what to believe. I felt that way more about like Ezra Miller, for example, the Ezra Miller Flash. I didn't want to put him in the display because I knew what he was being accused of was pretty wild. But like, I don't know enough, I think, about the controversy with Michael here. And I know that there is a Michael film that's set to come out. I think it's actually a 2-part film that's coming soon, which may give us a little more insight. Hard to say.
I think his nephew's playing him.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Or cousin or something like that.
All right.
I was just
Dave,
thinking, I totally get Adam's point of view, and but it's funny. I noticed how it's very common in our hobby. You have, the Kang character, which I also have Kang. There's the Flash character, and there's so many really actually, and it's funny, but it is very difficult to try to separate the character with the actual person. So I can see your point for sure.
Definitely. Dave, what about you, musician wise? Who would be like a musician setup that you'd want to collect from? And is Michael that one, or is there some others? Obviously there's some great ones in here. A couple of shout outs: Led Zeppelin, Queen, Kiss. Yeah, hell yeah, those would be great figures.
Oh,
especially the Kiss figures. I used to have some of the 1/12 Kiss figures back in the day, and they were cool.
I still have those.
Yeah,
I there were like, I think 2 or 3 different iterations of that set. And I have the one that has like where they have the letters that spell out Kiss.
Yes.
But like I have those guys, and they're awesome. But Michael Jackson was the icon that he was. I don't really do a lot of. It would have to be because Michael Jackson was a big deal and still is. For me personally, music-wise, I love Michael Jackson stuff, but like, what talks to me more is stuff like, and I put up a lot of fantasy figures from different genres of music up in Geo's streams. We got one coming tonight. But for me, I'm feeling more of like, if it was like a Chris Cornell or something like that, or Kiss, like there's a lot of groups out there that I would love to see done, that I would love to have.
Slipknot figures, they'd be cool.
Slipknot would be cool. That would be cool.
Crazy masks. Yeah.
There's and there are some like Slipknot who really do lend themselves to action figures.
Hell yeah.
So I could definitely see several. I almost got Daft Punk. I almost got those
yeah?
two. Yeah, because
Nice.
they look so good. They look so
Yeah,
good.
I think Dean got them. I'm pretty confident Dean got them.
I believe so. Yeah, I was tempted,
Eminem.
but
Oh yeah, I like that.
yeah.
It's not too late. They're still available. So.
Are they?
Are they?
Oh, I don't need to know that.
Oh. Right. It's like when I was saying earlier today that I wanted the Uncharted Nathan Drake, and then somebody put in the chat, I think it was Ryan, that was like, "Hey, this is where you can find it." I'm like, "Fuck, okay, I gotta go look at the bank account."
I don't need to know that.
Yeah, right.
A lot
It's
of
like,
third
I wanted-
companies, really quick, a lot of third companies, what they're starting to realize is when they put out a figure and it becomes all of a sudden like a very like hit, like it becomes a hit, they'll do second waves. It's months to a year afterwards. Mars is very known for that, and So as well. So yeah, you might be able to have another chance if you do change your mind.
Sure.
Has
It's
Mars
funny you say that.
or has So done a reissue? I haven't seen one from them. I don't think.
The most recent one that they did, Dave, was the Daredevil black suit version, like from the
that
season 1
was
of
a
Daredevil.
reissue, wasn't it?
That was a reissue.
Oh,
yeah,
that was
I
like
got
years
that
ago,
locked in.
though, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, that was just like the reissue was just like within the last year, because I'm still waiting on the pre-order to be fulfilled.
Yeah,
So
what
it
was the
probably within
original though?
The original one came out years ago, like back when the show was first airing, it's
The
been probably 10
Nightwing from the
years.
TV show as well. I think they're still
Right.
haven't
They did?
fulfilled that
Oh, okay.
second one.
Yeah, right. So crazy. Guys, great chat today. Thank you for being nuts with us here for a couple hours. As always, Mr. 1 Adam 12th, co-host here on the show, on the Ben Thomas Show, Let's Get Nuts podcast every Sunday. Tell us what's coming up with you, buddy, and your channel. Everybody, this is how you find 1 Adam 12th. If you are interested in subscribing over there as well. He's got over 6K subscribers already. Holy crap. Good job.
Hell
man.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
That's
Great show today. Thanks everyone in chat, like live the discussion, and X-Men. I'll be joining X-Men in a couple hours here for Geo show on the movie canon. Look forward to that. Philly, always good streaming with you, and thanks for your insight on San Diego Comic-Con and the Costic plastic. Definitely excited for those figures. So I'll be on Dio show, as I said, and hopefully we'll see you next week. I have this coming week. I have Han Solo coming in, so I'm hoping to
nice.
unbox him and have up a review of that later this week. I assume it's going to come this week. We'll see.
Crazy. I want to watch your video here on the Two-Face. I didn't realize that was already 2 months ago. Oh my god. I'm curious what you guys were thinking about that 2019 version. I like that figure still a lot. I have a great time with that figure.
I do
cool
too.
figure.
It's a good figure.
It's a really cool figure.
Adam,
great to have
awesome
you-
job. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say really quick, Adam, awesome job with your channel, man. You're definitely put the love and care in the figures, and that's what we all probably gravitate towards her. And I love it, man. Keep up the good work, man. It looks amazing.
Appreciate that.
guys,
Thank you.
You guys are crushing it. Very sweet reviews, and like very honest, which I appreciate. So if you like it, you love it, and you can tell. You can just see it on your face, which is fun. So check out 1 Adam 12 on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe if you can. If you're just tuning in for the very first time on the Ben Thomas Show, I would certainly appreciate you giving my friend here some support. Mr. Dave, X-Men Supreme, you kind of teased it a little bit, maybe on Geo's stream tonight. Anything else coming up for you, buddy, that you're excited about?
Nothing really. No, I'm just floating around like usual. I'll probably pop in here and there on a couple of streams over the next week, maybe see where I fit in. But it's always a fun time being here with you guys. I love the father-daughter dynamic of Adam's channel. That's so cool, man. It's cool when you can do stuff with your kids and you share interests, and that's just fun, man. So that's always cool to see. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Philly's reveal of his whole shebang going on there. That whole Batman armory there. I'm very, very jealous of that. I need to make that happen myself. I've been wanting to do like just empty bat suits. That
You saw
is a
that,
really
huh?
cool thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Thanks,
I
man.
picked up on that immediately. That is very cool. Like every Batman figure needs to come with an empty cowl. You can just put on the. I don't know why they don't do that. That needs to be a
Agreed.
thing for every Batman ever.
Totally agreed.
But it's always a fun time coming on here with you guys, and I look forward to the next one.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for being back. As always have a blast when you're here, buddy. So thanks so much, man. Mr. Philly, Figurecraft, I got your channel up here on the screen. Make sure you guys check out Figurecraft. No E on the inside there. I always mess that up when I'm trying to search for you. But definitely check out Philly's channel. When did you say your collection tour is coming, or you don't have a date in mind quite yet? You're still working on it.
I'm going to say within the next couple of weeks. I would say maximum 3 weeks. I'm still reorganizing the figures, but the setup is already done. And just as kind of like a little description of my displays, I'm doing also, kind of statue poses, but I'm also trying to do kind of inspire people to do alternative versions of versus poses. And you'll get more detail when I show you. I think you might get a little sneak peek on what I'm talking about right now. If you look behind me, you might see some DC characters in versus poses. I don't know. There you go. Let me move my head.
Yeah.
So,
fair.
So anyways, yeah.
Dope.
Trying to see if we can, inspire other people to kind of, try different things, like the whole Batmobile turning 360 degrees. I don't think anyone's done that before, but by all means, if you have the space, do it, because it's definitely worth it. Seeing that beauty just turn 360, and one of the beauty parts is I can always change it to the forever Batmobile or the 22 Batmobile. If you ever get bored, you can just alternate the vehicles and you can see them just rotating that lighting. So but thanks for having me, Ben. I really appreciate you. I will have that video tour soon. Right now I'm still trying to break 2K subscribers, but hopefully I got a lot of good stuff from Comic-Con footage, so I will also be putting a kind of like a montage of San Diego Comic-Con. I didn't do that last year, but this year I did get a plenty of cool footage and just stuff that they had over there. And highlight of my Comic-Con, I was able to meet Andy Muschietti.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Calvin spotted him, and we it's funny because we go over there and we're like, so sorry about Flash. I loved it. Everybody was telling him that the guy was so cool. That's awesome. I told him, I said, thank you. I mean, because he put a lot of love and care into that movie. He, if you look at the behind the scenes on the Batcave, just the work he put in the Batcave to kind of give you that replica of the actual Batcave, just for a few minutes of the movie, you could tell he had a lot of love for it. So unfortunately, it didn't work out as well. But hopefully, I did ask him. He didn't want to answer me, but hopefully he will do The Brave and the Bold. Hopefully James Gunn will hire him as Brave and the Bold. I don't think nothing has been spoke about. He was a little cryptic about it, but anywho, but other than that, I had a blast. Shout out to Jose Plas, Movie Cannon, AK Mike King Churro, TJ Mike. I saw 16 Fix. I saw Eddie Mendez. I saw who else? Danny Lee. I saw a lot of cool collectors, and it's fun. And hopefully, Ben, you can join us next year. Come on down.
I would love to.
Stay at my place.
I would love to.
Stay with me.
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. I'm down. I've always wanted to go to San Diego Comic-Con, always, and so I just needed some connections there because I didn't want to go by myself. So
there
you
go.
Make it work. Sold.
Yeah.
Sold. 100%.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool,
so thanks for having me again, and you'll see some lot of stuff coming up the next couple of weeks, and hopefully I can bump up that subscriber to 2K and get me going there, so I can
we still have 54 people watching. There's got to be at least 10 people here right now who haven't subscribed yet, so you guys get out there and hit the button. So,
thanks a lot,
dude.
Thanks for you guys.
Thanks for being back. I'm glad you made it home safe and everything, of course.
Thank you. I'm exhausted. You can tell my eyes. It's like I'm like, ugh.
I bet. Last but not least, let's give a special shout out. Of course, if you are here, you're already on the Ben Thomas Show. If this is your first time watching the show, whether it's on replay or live, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Definitely is appreciated. I do lots of live streams. We do figure preview videos, Star Trek stuff, all of the things. We're almost at 1,000 videos on the channel now, and we're about 800 subscribers short of 60,000 subscribers. So it's going really well, but my channel wouldn't be anything without some of the people who have supported me and helped me get there, just like the guys here in the panel. So I love these guys as always, and I love you faces out there in the world, everybody watching, the 53 people who are still here with us. Let's call out our Classy Nut crew if part of our channel membership. We got Alvin J, Honest Hansel, Money Mendez, Hernandez, Harry Dempsey, 6-Scale Mafia, 1 6-Figure Focus, Parks Industries, King Dingalinks, Jose G. Hernandez, The Real Tex Conway, Collection Obsession, The Movie Canon, Figurecraft, Jim Collector, Don Maton, Alex Serrato, Pop Culture Relics, Daniel SC, Ryan Smith, Collector Joey, Sam Gist, Rachel Miller, Mike and Callie, Figure in a Bubble, Daguito, Blurred Dad Life, Alex Serrato, Pliskin Incorporated, Andreas IB, Earth 616 Collector, Tony Tom, Saphira Cosplay, Aaron Broverman, Big Rip, as Dean would say, Big Dog Pound 1, Akira, Monroe Corbeil, Stone Capybara, Vita, aka Her Geeky Side, Field to Burn, Fig Poser, and then of course our channel Nut Kings. I think all of you guys, except for OG Fan, when Star Wars was just Star Wars, has given me your information. So make sure you do, because I'm getting those stickers out tomorrow. I'm taking them to the mailbox. So you guys will start seeing stickers roll in for you guys, anybody who is a Nut King on the channel. But of the Nut Kings, we got Mr. SpongeBob SquareBalls, I missed that guy, Collecting Weekly, The Batman, 12-Inch Moose Stream, X-Men Supreme, Peter Cass, Valkyrie Magnus, Ron E, 1 Adam 12, Sith Scale Collector, OG Fan, When Star Wars Was Just Star Wars, Manny Fresh, 369, Trevor Weed, Tijuana Mike, aka King Churro, and of course, if you want to become one of us, just scan the QR code there on the link, and we'll see you on the other side. But all of that to say, I just noticed here, OG Fan, Star Wars Was Just Star Wars. I have to update that. Sorry, buddy. I didn't realize I cut your N off there. You hate to see it. With all that said, Mr. Philly, we got nuts. And thanks for watching, everybody.
Wow, what a great audience. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Subscribing makes you feel good. Where should I go? What should I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
It's gone. It's all gone.